Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today. I'm really glad that everybody could join us. So today we're doing something unique that we've never done. We're going to be diving in and we're talking more about vendors. We're going to be talking really elaborately how to start building business credit. As a matter of fact, I have a surprise in the sense that we're going to talk about three other alternatives other than using vendor credit to build business credit in today's webinar as well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to introduce you to a way that really nobody even knows about that's brand new to roll out to build initial business credit. So we got a lot to dive into. We're going to go about 90 minutes here. And if anybody that knows me, I talk pretty fast to give a lot of information. So we're going to go over a lot of stuff during this 90 minutes. I know a lot of you are going to have questions along the way. I'm already starting to see some come into the questions and chat box. I will stay after to answer any questions that you may have. I'm going to stay for 30 minutes, an hour later to make sure that I answer questions. So if you have questions, hold off till the end because more than likely we'll cover whatever your question may be. And you also, in the end, you will get a copy of the webinar as well, a playback of the webinar. If you've attended through the entire webinar, not through the Q&A, you don't have to stay for the question and answer part if you don't want to, but if you go through the end of the webinar before the Q&A, we will send you a playback of this webinar tomorrow so you can have it and play it back and stop and do whatever you'd like to do with it beyond that point as well. So let's dive into the vendors who can help you build business credit without a personal credit check or guarantee. So let me tell you a little bit about myself for those of you that don't know me. Whenever we spend 90 minutes together, I always like to give you a little bit of rundown of my experience. I have about 17 years now over that in the finance industry. Ever since I got out of the Air Force many years ago, I've been in finance. I speak about this topic worldwide. I just got back from Arizona. I'm going to Washington State next week, Las Vegas the week after. So I'm constantly traveling all over the country and sometimes all over the world. Headed to Colombia in December talking about this topic. I have two books that I've authored, Perfect Credit and Business Credit Decoded. The best books you're going to find are the best selling books on consumer and commercial credit that walk through how both systems work. And I'm also known as a business credit authority with news stations, podcasts, radio, TV, Inc., Forbes, Entrepreneur. If you go to our website, creditsuite.com, and click on credibility, you'll see we've been featured like so many different places, all different kind of magazines and a lot of other things relating to this topic. And I actually oversee the largest business credit partner division in the United States of Credit Suisse. We've helped about 15,000 people to date build business credit, and we support thousands of partners that offer business credit that we provide the servicing for. So I don't tell you this to boast or brag. Like I've said before, those of you that know me, know I'm a really humble person. I just tell you this because I want you to know that I have the knowledge and experience for what I'm talking to you about today, that what we're going through is not at all in theory. So we're going to cover a lot of stuff today. We're going to talk about how to get immediate vendor business credit accounts that are linked to your EIN, not your social. This is the way you start building business credit. And we're going to talk about how you can do it even if you have personal credit issues, even if you're a startup, even if you don't have cash flow, you don't have credit, you don't have collateral. We're going to talk about how you can do that. We're also going to talk about the vendors you can actually use to build your initial business credit profile and score. The hardest part about building initial business credit is getting started. We're going to talk about three other alternatives to using vendors to build business credit. And we're also going to break down and talk more about using these vendors to build your initial credit profile and score. How to use your newly established credit profile and score once these vendors report to then move to the next step of Walmart, Amazon, Staples, Apple, Lowe's, Best Buy, Ford, Visa, MasterCard. As time permits, I'm going to show you even more than the 7 in our own system, and I'll walk you through the other steps briefly of building business credit as well. This webinar is not really focused on the steps of building business credit. It's everything you need to do to get the vendors. But to put that piece together, you have to understand the rest. As time permits and with your permission, we'll dive into that part as well. How you can access loans even when you can't get approved, or banks when you think you can't get approved. How to make money off of business credit financing if that's something that you are interested in. And again, bonus, you will get the playback of this webinar if you are attending to the end. Okay, so look, we help a lot of people build business credit. We have about 20,000 people in our group that aren't even our clients that we help build business credit, as well as tens of thousands of followers across all social platforms that we help. And overwhelmingly, there is a problem. A lot of people that try to do what I'm teaching you today do fail to do so. Most don't even know that this credit can be built regardless of credit quality. So a lot of people are providing their social security number, they're letting credit checks occur, they're getting denied based on those credit checks, not knowing better. We're going to talk about how you can get around that and avoid that issue. A lot of people don't understand that business credit building is a process, nor do they understand the steps to the process. This can work there's a reason that that middle to larger size businesses usually know this, and people that are smaller businesses don't. And it's because they just don't understand the process. The financial savvy CFOs and controllers that go with middle to larger businesses understand this process, but a lot of small businesses don't, and that's why they fail. They don't understand the right steps of the process to follow, which, yeah, as time permits, we'll dive into those steps as well. Most don't know the right vendors to apply for and which order to apply. A lot of people are still trying to build business credit from information they're getting from forums, even our group. The problem with forums and groups is that you're learning to build business credit from a bunch of other novices, and typically the information that's passed around is not accurate. And we've kind of stepped in our group and said the same thing. We said, hey, look, you're posting a lot of vendors here that don't even report anymore. And the poster says, yeah, I know that, but this is just all the information I have. That's very typical. So a lot of people are getting credit with vendors that don't even report anymore. And then they're spending money and waiting months and nothing happens because those vendors don't report. So finding the right vendors is very important. And that's the whole focus of what we're really diving into today. And a lot of them don't know how to get approved with the vendors. They don't know the process to go through and get approved, who will approve them, which vendors to start with, how long these vendors take to report. All those things factor in to building business credit. We'll dive into all of them. So if you're looking for money to start to grow a business, boom, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Whether you have good credit, you're very well established, and you're just looking to get loans and credit lines at the best terms, or whether you're just getting started and just getting your business off the ground and need money, we're going to be talking about options that will work for you. If you want high limit business credit accounts that aren't linked to your social, if you want credit that doesn't require a personal credit check, that doesn't report on your personal credit report, that's what we're talking about today. It's very important to be able to clarify that. This is not consumer credit. This is not credit that has a guarantee included. It's not credit that has a personal credit check. This is strictly about getting credit that you can obtain without personal credit checks, without personal guarantees. If you're looking for the easiest and fastest way to get the most money for your business, we're going to be talking about that as well. We're going to dive into loans and credit lines if we have time and with your permission near the end. And in the meantime, we're going to talk about a lot of different ways to get money and using business credit to quickly get the money that you need. And if you're looking to get credit lines and loans, we're going to be diving into that as well. So we always like to start with the basics, right? What is business credit? What are the basics of how this actually works? So when we talk about business credit is credits for your business EIN, right? So ultimately there's two types of, yeah, I'm going to say two. Well, there's really three types of credit you have. You have consumer credit, then you have business credit. And business credit's credit for the business. It's the business's ability to pay. It's linked to the business EIN. Then the third type is called bank credit, and it's a credit score you'll never see. It's scores that banks have that they use to score whether you should get loans, and that's a whole different topic for a whole different day. So business credit can be used for the business to fund itself, period. That's what it is. If you ask me what business credit does, I could not think of an easier way to explain it over many, many, many years than this. Business credit gives your ability for your business to fund itself. That means you don't need your personal money. It doesn't mean you don't need your personal credit. It means you don't need to be one of the 75% of people that's getting money from family and friends and those around you. This gives you the ability for your business to fund itself from inception all the way until it grows to gigantic heights. You can obtain business credit with no consumer credit check, no personal credit reporting. So this is one of the huge benefits. Now, if you have credit issues, obviously no consumer credit check is a huge benefit. But even if you don't have credit issues, it's a huge benefit. Inquiries matter a lot in the business lending space. 2 inquiries, 3 inquiries can cost you $25,000 to $50,000 in available funding. We do not like inquiries. The problem is business credit. Kind of. Meaning that when you're getting loans and credit cards, these lenders don't know where the stuff is reporting. Like, you could have just got a loan and they don't know if it's not yet reporting on your consumer credit report or not yet reporting on your business credit report. So when you start going out and putting inquiries from like Staples, which is Citi, pulling that, well, then when the lenders see that you've got inquiries from Citi and all these major banks, then it's really more difficult to get financing from them because they're not sure if you already got financing from one of those other sources. So again, there's no consumer credit check. A lot of benefits here. If you have personal credit issues, obvious benefit, you can still get this regardless. But even if you have good credit, it's a huge benefit because we're not putting inquiries on your credit report, which could adversely affect your ability to get loans and credit lines. And there's no personal credit reporting, which is very big. Also, 30% of your consumer FICO scores utilization. So if you start putting balances on consumer credit cards because you're trying to fund your business, you'll crush your credit scores. That's what I see everybody do. People come in, They try to use personal credit. They're like, hey, I want to start a business and it's going to cost me $5,000. And I got this credit card with a $10,000 limit. So boom, done, problem solved. Then they realize the business ain't going to cost $5,000. It's going to be 15, 20,000 to get it going. It's always more money than they thought. And then what they end up doing is then they max out their credit cards. Then they go looking for help, but no one will help them because they're maxed out on the credit cards. It's a vicious cycle I see so many people fall into. Everything's going to cost more than you think it will in business. Everything's going to take longer than you think it's going to take. Hard lessons learned, I will tell you. But the one thing you don't have to do is use your personal credit to fund your business. And when you're buying using business credit, then you're actually having credit that reports to the business reporting agencies, not the consumer. So you can max out the credit cards. It won't lower your consumer credit scores. You can get approved without a personal guarantee. That's why I'm here. It's a hard lesson to teach because none of us think we're going to fail. We're entrepreneurs. It's the way we think. I've lived through that, though. I owned a mortgage company, and at no fault of my own, the whole business failed because the economy crashed. And I had this happen. I personally guaranteed everything in my business. And here's what happened. I got the credit. It reported my business credit accounts, my revolving business credit cards reported on my consumer credit reports. So when I started to go late, what happened was something I never thought would happen. And I had a lot of experience in credit at the time. They reported it late on my consumer credit report, and all of my consumer credit card companies immediately lowered the limits to what we owed. They removed all the available credit because they saw I was in trouble, but the business was in trouble. I wasn't. So all this available credit, this $200,000 of available credit was a lot at the time that we thought we had the lien on in tough time, immediately went away overnight because we started to default on business obligations. And then the worst part of it was they literally came into our business bank account when we had the most money in there that we'd had, and they removed it all. They literally just withdrew it, sucked it right out. And it was a nightmare because we had checks written against that money. Our business had just failed. We didn't have the money. It was one of the worst. It was the worst experience I've ever went through my entire life. I can tell you, I remember having to borrow money from my parents, my father and mother-in-law, to pay our electric bill. It was the worst experience of my entire life. It's all because I personally guaranteed things in the business. And it's why I'm talking to you today. I didn't know there was another way. You need to. You need to know that you could build credit for the business to fund itself where you're not personally liable. So if anything ever does happen with or within your within your control or outside of your control, then you still keep your personal assets protected. So it's required to get approved for bank financing and to get the most money at the best terms. Look, it's not required with all lenders. If you're okay paying 35, 45, 65% interest with these high risk revenue cash advances, feel free. But you need to know they're pulling business credit as well. OnDeck, the biggest revenue lending lender out there, even them at 35 to 65% rates, they still pull business credit and deny people based on business credit quality. So some of the alternative lenders don't look at this as much. A lot of them, like OnDeck, the bigger ones do. And the big primary lenders will never, ever lend money to you unless you establish business credit. It's impossible. And the reason for that is you have to have an SBA FICO, or you have to have a FICO SBSS, your FICO small business score. It has to be high enough to get approved with SBA. You can't have a score high enough if you don't establish business credit. It's impossible. So you can never get bank financing unless you build this, and you're never going to get access to the best financing with the lowest terms unless you access business credit. So by following the steps outlined today, you can immediately get vendor credit as soon as we're done before we're even done. I'm going to tell you the sources, who they report to, how to get the credit, the process to go, the nuances you need to know, and you're going to be able to start getting approvals immediately before we're even done here today. You can then use that credit to establish your initial business credit profile and score, and then you start moving to get pretty much every other kind of credit you want. Retail credit with most major retailers, the fleet credit tier and cash credit tier, which we call it, which is Visa card, MasterCard, American Express. We're even going to talk about auto vehicle financing today. You can expect approval limits to be 10 to 100 times higher than consumer limits. This comes right from SBA, and it's pretty typical of what we see. If you're getting credit and using it, then the first revolving accounts you get are going to be $5,000 to $15,000 limits. And that happens in about 30 to 90 days into this process. The vendor credit you get should be $500 to $2,500 on average. Keep in mind, anyone can see your business credit reports without your permission. This is very important. Suppliers, prospects, clients, competitors, investors, lenders, credit issuers, if they have your business name and only your business name, they can look at your business credit report. Now, if there's a bunch of companies in the country that have similar business names, they may divert to wanting your state to know which business is yours, but anybody that wants to can see your business credit reports, the number of trade lines you have, your credit scores, how you pay your bills. It's not like consumer credit. You might ruin your consumer credit, and you know what? Nobody's going to know about it unless you give them permission to pull it. But in the business credit world, if you have no credit, you're considered to have bad credit. And when you have no credit, which is bad credit and or bad credit, then what happens is anybody can see that. It's public information. Anybody that wants to access it can. So you really have to protect this like it's gold, because it's your reputation for everybody that you're going to care that your reputation is good, because a lot of those people are investing money into your business. So yes, you can get approved as a startup, even when you have no prior credit reporting on your business credit reports. This is no doc. So you don't need bank statements, you don't need tax returns, you don't need income verification. You can get approved for business credit as a nonprofit. You can get approved regardless of consumer credit quality. As long as you have a business in the United States, I don't even care if you're from another country. If you have set up a business in the United States, which you can easily do from another country, then you can build business credit for that business. So let's take a look at some actual approvals so you see what's possible. So here's an approval here, for example, for $7,200. Here's another approval for $6,000 from Racetrack. Here's a Dell approval for $10,000, ExxonMobil for $3,000. Here's a $1,600 approval. Here's somebody that used vendor credit to buy a printer, for example, and we'll talk about that today. Here's somebody that got $50,000 with Pilot Flying J, American Express credit card, $9,000 limit, $4,000 with Amazon, $17,000 with Amazon JCPenney, $2,600 approval with FleetCor, ExxonMobil, don't see the $2,000, no PG, $4,000 through Amazon. Thanks, Ty Crandall, for all your advice. Thanks for listening, Jason. Appreciate it. Mary just got $50,000 business line of credit. Uline, another vendor. Here's Texon, Staples, American Express for $20,000, no PG. That means no personal guarantee. So what's important about all these people is that every one of these people, like you, did not know how this process worked. They did not know what I'm teaching you. Most of them came to a webinar similar to this. A lot of them are clients, and they're learning the steps and now coming in and taking the knowledge and actually get results, as I expect that you'll be able to too. And here's two of my favorite clients, the samples, and a quote from them. We went to our bank to get a business line of credit. They turned us down. We got started with Credit Suite, set up our business credibly, and built our business credit. After following the steps, we've now secured over 96,000 business credit cards and just applied for the Platinum Amex and got approved instantly with no limit. Now we have 4 to 5 different companies call us every day trying to give us money, and that's a really good problem to have. We're excited, and if you don't have business credit yet, you should get involved with Credit Suite to have the same results we have. So the samples are very interesting. I'm going to show you something later as time permits. We went through a credibility check with them that we go through with all clients. They had one thing wrong with their business name, a discrepancy. We fixed it, and they then went back into that bank. That's the rest of the story, and the bank approved them. So we actually found why the bank denied them. We fixed it, and then they turned around and got approved, and now they've got like 600,000-700,000 in business credit. They've got multiple businesses. She co-wrote a book with Brian Tracy. It's just been explosive growth, as it is for many entrepreneurs that we see when they can actually access the capital they need to succeed. So vendor credit 101. So having an EIN does not mean that you have established credit. First thing to know. Some people think that just because they have a business, that the business has credit and they can walk into a bank and get financing and use the credit to get established credit to get credit cards. It's not the case. If you go to a bank or a retailer and try to get business credit using your EIN with no credit established, you're always going to get denied, guaranteed. That is, unless you were willing to have them pull your personal credit. So if you don't want to get approved based on personal credit quality, then you can't reverse the order. You can't start with auto financing, and you can't start with Visa cards and MasterCards in your bank. It's just not the right order to apply. So you can't start with the roof. You got to basically start with the foundation, right? And first build up. You can't start with store or cash credit from your bank. If you do, you're going to get denied 100% of the time, okay? This is no different than consumer credit. If you went into Staples with no consumer credit established and applied for an account, well, then they're going to deny you. But if you went into Staples and FICO's giving you a consumer credit score that's pretty good, and you have 2 accounts reporting on your consumer credit reports, you'll get approved. Same thing with your bank. If you go into your bank with no credit and try to get a credit card, they're going to deny you. But if you go into your bank with established credit profile, established credit scores, accounts on your credit reports, they're going to approve you. You cannot start consumer or commercial credit with stores or banks. It just won't work. You're going to get denied. First, you've got to build trade lines that report. We call this trade credit. We call it vendor credit. We call it trade lines. We call it payment experiences. We call it all kinds of crazy stuff. But what it comes down to is you've got to build these accounts, get approved with accounts that report on the business credit reports. That gives you three very important things that are necessary to build business credit. One, trade lines. An account reporting in the business credit reports is considered to be a trade line. You'll hear me often refer to it as a payment experience as well. Two, it gives you actual scores. Because you paid your bills on time or not, then that's giving you an actual score. And the accounts, the trade lines, are helping you build a credit profile. When you have those three things, trade lines, profile, and score, you could then move on to the next step in building business credit. I'm going to show you 4 different ways today to be able to do this. One being vendor credit, 3 other ways I'm going to show you how to get the initial credit built that then allows you to move to the next step of the process. Then once you've done this, you get the vendor credit. That gives you the credit profile. That gives you the credit score. And then with an established credit profile and score and those trade lines, then you move on to Staples. Then you move on to Amazon. And then you'll eventually move to Visa, MasterCard, even your bank. And we will talk about that as well on how to actually accomplish that. So vendor credit comes from trade vendors who basically issue credit to their customers to buy their products or services. That's what it actually is. It's what vendor credit is. So there are things called trade vendors that basically will offer you credit to use with them, right? It's not much different than like a Staples credit card where you can only use it at Staples, but the difference is these trade vendors don't give you revolving terms. They typically give you like net 30 type terms. So this is credit you can and should use to grow your business while you're building your business credit. So one of the biggest problems I see people make trying to build business credit is they listen to me talk in a webinar like this. They say, okay, I need 5 vendors. I go get vendor 1 and I spend $50 because that's the minimum, and that's the minimum I need to spend. So I'm going to spend the minimum. I'm going to get my second one. I'm going to spend $30 because there is no minimum. The problem is your business credit reports don't show your recent high credit limits credit limits that you have. They show the recent amount of credit you've used. So if you're going out and getting 5 accounts and the most you've ever spent with all of them is $50, then the problem is that your credit report is going to show that every account you have you've spent less than $100 on, and the future credit issuers are going to give you lower approvals because you're not using very much credit. If you're using and getting vendors you really actually need to use to grow the business, then you can spend more money because you're growing the business and you're spending money on stuff you need anyways. And then the credit issuers see that you're spending money and they issue you subsequently higher approvals. So this is why knowing how many vendors and knowing these vendors are very important, because you have to build initial business credit. And the more you're spending as you're doing that, the higher the subsequent limits will be. And then the higher the future limits and limits. So it's all based on how much you're using. So this should be credit you are using to grow the business. Now, most vendors, as I mentioned, have terms like net 15, net 30, net 55, net 60. And what that basically means is you have that time period to pay back the bill. So if you're approved for $1,000 in vendor credit with net 30 terms, for example, well, then if you borrow $1,000, you have to pay that money back within that 30 days. Net 30 means you pay it back within 30 days. Net 55, you pay it back within 55, right? The full amount that's owed. This isn't what you and I want. We want revolving credit. We want the ability to spend $1,000 and only pay a payment of 25 bucks. So this is a stepping stone to get us where we need to be. This is a stepping stone to get through the net accounts with some vendors that can maybe help us in the beginning and then move on to revolving accounts. Again, this is very important, and here's why. If you don't do this the right way, man, I don't want to say that, then you are going to basically, if you don't do this the right way and follow the right steps, then what happens is you're not able to get revolving accounts with the credit issuers you want to. So if you screw this up, then you start blowing Amazon, Staples, Office Depot, and start getting net 30, net 55, net 60 accounts. What that means is Staples will give you credit, but you don't have enough credit for them to give you the revolving account. We don't want that. What we need is we need to use vendors to get the maximum of accounts we need to start moving to revolving. Then revolving, Staples, Amazon, Walmart gives us revolving, not net accounts. Never said that before in a webinar, but I want to address it because when you do this wrong, the problem is you can go into Amazon and be given a net 30 account versus revolving. Whereas if you just would have waited to get 2 more trade lines, you would have got revolving. And we'll talk about that and the steps and the process to be able to succeed and not fail as we progress. So vendor credit is an important step in building business credit. It's easier to get than store or fleet credit, but it can lead to store and fleet credit. It's credit anybody can get. You can get it as a startup. You can get it with bad credit. This is a way that anybody can actually succeed with getting initial credit. It's easier than store and fleet credit, but when you get it, it's the first step that leads to the rest of the credit you want. So establishing initial business credit helps you get the loans and credit lines you want as well. Even a little bit of business credit, even one account reporting with Experian and Equifax, if you pay it as agreed, gives you a good score. But the problem is these reporting agencies will give you a failing score even if you have no credit. You and I, we're not used to this. We're used to having to screw up our credit. But in the business world, it's not that way. If they know you exist and they know your SIC code, which they get 1 year in business when you file your annual reports, or at the end of the year, even if you've been in business less than a year, they populate a credit report and issue you a failing score 100% of the time if they know you exist and you have an SIC code. So, and they know the SIC code. So we've got to establish initial business credit because even the profile being established, the score being established is going to go a long way to help you start getting the loans and credit lines you want to get. And what we're talking about today is proven to work. Again, like I said, we've helped over 15,000 people do this process. And if you look at our website, you'll see we've never had a complaint anywhere from a client ever. Okay, we don't have BBB complaints and no other complaints from a client ever. You'll see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reviews because this works. We didn't invent the process I'm teaching you. We just figured it out. Right? Like we said, why do all medium and large businesses know this and small businesses don't? We learned how it works, and now we're just teaching you a process that's been around for a long, long, long time that's proven to work, and it's the same process the medium and larger size businesses actually use. So 97% of trade vendors don't report, though. Here's the problem. We talk to people all the time, and this is what they say. They come in, they go, oh my gosh, I really need your help. I don't know what just happened. We applied for a credit line. Everything is good. And they denied us. And they told us they denied us because of our business credit quality. What's going on? I have credit with A, B, C, D, E, F, all these companies. How can they say I don't have any business credit? How can they say it's bad? Well, we pull their business credit report. They have nothing reporting and a failing score. I told you how that happens because they got credit with a bunch of vendors that they thought reported. But statistically, over 97% of trade vendors don't report to the business credit reporting agencies. And to be honest with you, I think that stat is completely ridiculous. I think it's higher than that. Everything we've seen, I think it's closer to 99% of trade vendors don't report. But I'll go with the stat that's out there. 97% of these companies that you may have credit with don't report. Of the ones who do, even fewer are going to give you credit when you have no credit check or guarantee. So the problem is most vendors you can't use to start building credit. Most of them don't report. And the small selection of people that do won't typically give you credit when you have none. They're like, no, dude, you don't have any credit. I'm not giving you credit. So there's this conundrum that creates this issue that makes it difficult for people to succeed. So you need to find vendors who do report. Number one requirement, report to the business reporting agencies and who will approve you for initial credit when you have none. Two very important requirements we're looking for with vendors. Do they report to the business reporting agencies? Will they approve you for initial credit even when you have none on your business credit report? So first, you want to pick a vendor you want to get credit from. Find out, and again, this is very important. Stop building business credit just to build business credit because everybody sees that's what you're doing and it's going to affect your ability to get high limit approvals. Get credit with vendors you actually want to get credit from. When we looked at that testimonial from the samples, they got credit with places that let them get yard signs, that let them get marketing flyers printed, that let them get a bunch of things related to marketing that they literally use to turn into money. So they got credit with vendors. They used it for advertising and marketing. They went ahead, they advertised and market, they made sales. They used that money to then continue to grow the business credit, buy more things and grow the business. That's why they did over $1 million the first year in business because they got credit they actually were going to use. Next, you got to find items in the store, put them in your cart. That's the process. Go find the vendor you want. We'll talk about plenty today. Okay, find the items you want, you put them in your shopping cart, and then you go to checkout. you want to set up an account when you go to check out online, and vendors are a little different. We'll talk about the approval process with each one of them. This is a general overview. Okay, and then you want to choose the payment option similar to Invoice Me. They all call it something different, but the process is fundamentally the same. Okay, find the vendor, go put the stuff in the cart, set up the account with them online, set up your account, choose the payment option similar to Invoice Me, and that's it. You just went ahead and got your first vendor account set up. Wait and check your email. Now, you will not get a card in the mail. You will not get a congratulations letter in the mail. They will not approve you and tell you how much your limit is. It's nothing like an approval you've ever seen before. What's going to happen at this point is one of two things. They're either going to notify you by email they shipped the items, or they're going to notify you by email and or phone that they couldn't approve you. And we'll talk about how to get past that circumstance. So again, you're either going to get an email telling you the item shipped, or a call or email stating that they cannot approve you. If denied, either get more credit and apply again, or pay for those items and repeat the purchasing and applying process until approved. So Uline and Quill are notorious for this. If you are a brand new startup business with no established credit, they will want you to purchase things before they will give you credit. They want to know you're real. They want to know that you're not using them for the credit. So what they're going to do is you put the items in the cart, you go to checkout, they call and email you and go, sorry, man, we could not approve you for credit. And then what your response is no worries, I still want to buy that stuff. So can I move forward with the purchase without the credit? And you buy the stuff. And then you do the same thing again, rinse and repeat. By the second or third order, they will approve you. I've never ever seen, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I'm saying I've never actually seen a case where somebody wasn't approved by the second or third order that they placed. Now, you don't have to do that. If you don't want to place the 2 or 3 orders, then go get approved with other vendors. Get approved with other vendors that may approve you more easily than the one that you try to get approved for. So I'm giving you 2 options if that results in a denial. But typically by your third order, you're going to get approved. I mean, in every case I've ever seen, I'm not saying it's not possible that something else could happen. Everything's possible, right? But I've never seen it. Over 15,000 cases, I've never seen it. What I see is that the person that places the second or third order gets approved, even if they didn't get approved on the first order. So this is the process of getting approved for vendor accounts. It's almost the same with all of them, knowing what to expect. There is no celebration. There is no notice of what your credit limit is. You have to call them to even find out what the credit limit is. When they ship the item, shipping the item is the actual proof that you actually got approved. Now, once approved, you want to pay the bill as soon as you possibly can pay the bill. Now, you must pay after the item ships, though, to get it on your report. So here's how it works. Vendor credit is only considered to be credit if you're paying after the item is what is qualified as fulfilled. So what fulfilled typically means is shipped in almost all cases. So if you order things from a vendor, when they ship the items, it counts as fulfillment, and your net 30 days, for example, boom, clicks, starts immediately that day, the day the item is shipped. The problem is if you pay the items before it ships, you're paying it before the item is fulfilled. It then counts as a cash transaction, and you will get no credit for that actual purchase. So it won't show on your business credit reports because you paid it too soon. So you always have to pay it as soon as you can. And here's why. Your scores are strictly based on how you pay your bill. The key to getting a good score is to pay the bill on time or early. The earlier or more on time, the earlier you pay it, the better the score. So you always want to pay as soon as you can. You have to wait for that item shipped, for the item to be, or for the order to be fulfilled. Now, most vendors, again, report monthly. Others report quarterly. So I always say it takes 30 to 90 days for items to report in your business credit reports. Most of them are going to report in a month because that's what they report. Some of them, like Quill, report every quarter, 90 days. So people ask me, how long does it take to build business credit? I always say the same thing. It's based on 2 factors, both within your control. 1, how much credit you apply for, and 2, how quickly you're applying. Meaning, if you need 5 vendors to get to the next step, get 10. Because if you get 10, maybe 3 of them take 90 days to report, but 7 of them report in 30. So if you want to have the best chance of expediting, get as many accounts as you can in each tier of credit you're going to apply for. That gives you the best chance of these accounts reporting in 30 days, not 90. Makes sense, right? So that's exactly what you want to do. You want to make sure that you getting as much credit as you can, because the more credit you have, the more chance you have of them reporting, and you want to apply quickly. How quickly you apply determines how fast it comes to building business credit. So it really comes down to you controlling how long it takes for this process. So once reported, then you have the three things, right? Trade lines, established credit profile, and that's how it works. Trade lines hit your report, boom, that establishes the credit profile, boom, how you paid establishes the credit score. And then using the newly established business credit profile and score, then you start to get approved for the retail credit tier. So that's what we do. We need 5 of these kind of vendors. We get 5 vendors, we pay the bill, we went through a whole process, we pay the bill, they report, and then when they report, we move on to the next step. So this is possible because now, once we've done this, trade lines report score, your EIN credit profile is established. Now it's established. Remember, whole purpose, business to fund itself. What's business credit do? Business to fund itself. So what happens here is now your EIN credit profile is established, right? We have the 3 trifecta. We have trade lines, we have report and score. Trade lines, profile, which you can consider to be report and score. Those 3 things give us the basis of a credit profile, and now the business can start to stand on its own. So if you leave the social off the application, the credit issuer then pulls your EIN credit, sees a solid profile and score, and can then approve you for real revolving credit. It's usually an automated process. I'm going to talk to you later, if time permits, how to beat their system, how to beat their computers and their algorithms to know what they're looking for before you apply to get the automated approvals. Sidebar, as of May of 2018, this is a little bit different. In 2016, the government put a law in effect to prevent money laundering that said to big banks, you got to stop opening accounts for people that you don't know who they are. You need to get a social and a date of birth from every person that you're opening an account for to verify that they're who they actually are. And it's an effort to thwart money laundering, which, by the way, many other major countries have already done many years ago. We're way behind the curve on this. So nowadays, you may be exposed where they ask for your social for verification purposes. They may actually come in and ask you for your date of birth as well. I applied for a WEX fleet card, got approved for a WEX fleet card last week for the business because I never had any fleet credit. I'm like, why don't we? I mean, we put fuel in the vehicles once in a while. And they did it the right way. They had a normal application that I was used to seeing. And on the next page, it had big disclaimer: for verification purposes only, the federal government requires we get your date of birth and social security number. What are these 2 things? So it was clear as day. They told me clearly, look, we only are getting this for verification purposes. There was nowhere they made me sign giving authority for a personal credit check or a guarantee, so I'm good. So if you're getting credit issued by major banks like Staples and Office Depot are underwritten by Citi, then you may see this. But you won't see it on vendors. Vendors aren't going to ask for socials except for one. I'll tell you about them later. You don't need to include the social. You're good because these guys aren't underwritten by banks. They're issuing credit themselves. But as you get to major credit, understand they may ask for that for verification purposes. You just need to make sure you're not giving them permission to do your personal credit check or for the actual personal guarantee. So bank backed, bank. Okay, so that's why that was messed up. Bank baked, that's what I have here. Bank baked. Let's go with bank backed credit cards may still ask for your social and date of birth for verification purposes only, as I just told you, but you need to make sure that that's clear. You never want to give them the actual authority for you to be able to come in and be able to give them permission to do a guarantee or credit check. Okay, so whew. Now you know it. Now we know what business credit is. We got the basics. We got some of the benefits down. We got this whole process works, how to get vendor credit. Let's dive in to these 7 vendors who will approve you and report. So one of my favorites is Uline. Now they sell shipping, packaging, industrial supplies. They report to D&B, Dun & Bradstreet, and you must have a DUNS number before starting with them. Now we'll talk about DUNS number a little bit later as time permits. I'm going to go through and I'll talk to you about how to get a DUNS number and all that stuff after I get through these 7 vendors. I know it's backwards, but the whole purpose today is to get you the 7 vendors, and you want to stick around and see where they fit into the process overall. We'll talk about all that as well. So you got to have a DUNS number before getting started with them, okay? And they'll ask for 2 trade references and a bank reference. So what's interesting about business credit is they won't look at your bank statements, but they verify you have a bank account by asking you for a bank reference. And a reference is just simply you saying, hey, look, this is somebody that I pay monthly now. Here's their name, company name, phone number, call them if you want a reference. They very rarely, I've never even actually seen them call on a reference before, but it's what they just want to see, that you have something to even put down as a reference. So you got to have 2 trade references and a bank reference to be able to get approved. And you usually need to place an order of $50 or more for the item to get approved. Now, your first few orders might need to be prepaid. So initially, your company can get up to the 30, that 30 accounts. We talked about this. They might make you place 2 or 3 orders if you're brand new. So how to apply with them? Get an item in the shopping cart, go to checkout, select to open an account, select to be invoiced. You can visit them at uline.com. So I love Uline because they sell shipping supplies. And like, if you're going to do direct mail and marketing, well, they have everything you need to do direct mail and marketing besides stamps, which no, I don't think they do. So they give you the immediate ability to start using credit to market, which I love, because I think the primary goal of any business is to make money. And when you get in business, the number one priority is to make money. So anywhere you can get vendor credit with places that you could use to get stuff to make money, I think makes a lot of sense. Uline can help you with those kind of shipping supplies. Quill's my favorite vendor. They sell office packaging and cleanup supplies. They sell toner, office furniture, even coffee, snacks. They report to D&B every quarter. Now, look, Quill has over 1 million products they sell. So if you tell me that there's nothing you could use to grow the business, you're lying. That ain't true. There's no way they can, because they have over 1 million products. They have office supplies, they have printers, they have computers, they have like furniture. I'm pretty sure they have furniture as well. They have direct mail. So they do flyers. Not direct mail, they do flyers. So they'll do flyer production. You can get yard signs from them. You can get all kinds of printing services from them. So Quill is who the samples used to put yard signs up and flyers to host a conference they used to make the initial money that they had. And that's what they did. They kind of went all in on business credit. The money they got from a flat screen TV and a pickup truck, they put into a marketing thing that ended up being a scam, lost it all, went all in on business credit, and then were able to come in and use business credit to get the flyers they needed and to get the actual yard signs. And they started marketing seminar. And they did a seminar on tax services, and that's where they picked up their initial clients, and they were off to the races after that. Then they had money, then they paid the bill off, right? They borrowed the money to market, then they paid the bill off. Then they got more credit, and the whole process, the whole cycle continued. Now they report to D&B Quill. To apply, you must have a D&B Paydex score, or they will make you possibly place a few orders if you're a newer company. Now, they will check your Experian business credit report too. Now, you must place your initial order first unless your D&B score is already established, or unless you've got greater time in business. And your first order, they may put you on a 90-day prepayment schedule, which means they may not even report the credit for 90 days. So what's happened with Quill is they sell so many products, and they've become so popular for business credit building that I think they're trying to make it more difficult for you just to use them to build business credit. They're making it wait 90 days to report to create some pain and friction there, because they don't want to just be used. Now, I can tell you, I don't believe in just using these vendors. I buy a lot of stuff from Quill. I buy more stuff from Quill than I buy from Staples and Office Depot. And I have revolving accounts with them, and I have a net 30 with Quill. And you know why? Loyalty. I believe in loyalty. I believe the people that were there to help me when all the other jerks weren't deserve my loyalty. So Quill gave me credit when Staples wouldn't. They gave me credit when Office Depot wouldn't. So I don't feel it's fair to abandon Quill for Staples and Office Depot because they gave me revolving accounts. We still do a lot of our purchases through Quill because they were one of our first vendors, and I believe in that loyalty. I think that you should continue to use these vendors even after the fact. Now, even after you've got the revolving accounts. Now, if you order items each month for 3 months, they will typically approve you, as we talked about. Here's how to apply. Same process. Get an item to your shopping cart, go to checkout, select open an account, select to be invoiced, and you can go to quill.com. So here's what you need to know about Quill. Main points. Fantastic, best vendor, more stuff to choose from than you'll find with any other vendor that's out there. They will, if you're brand new startup, if you don't have some of the credibility things, if you don't have an established business credit report and score, they may make you place 3 orders, and then they may make you wait 90 days for the item to report. So it could take 3 months for this account to hit. Ways around that: set up your business credibly. We'll talk about that later as time permits. Okay. The second thing is you also want to make sure that get your DUNS number. That can also help you do this as well. So getting established, getting your DUNS number, being able to come in and before you even apply with them, making sure the business is set up credibly, those kind of things can help make it easier for you to get around that 90-day requirement. Grainger Industrial Supply, they sell hardware, power tools, pumps, and more. They also do fleet maintenance. To qualify, you need the following: a business license, an EIN, a DUNS number. If you're not required to get a business license for your industry, for your state, for your county, you don't need one. But what's weird about Grainger is they love them. If you have a business license, they're pretty much going to approve everybody for less than $1,000. They'll approve almost anybody that has a business license for less than 1,000. For over 1,000, they're going to want to see some references. But again, not accounts on your credit report. They just want to see references. Fax them your application or apply over the phone. You can go to Grainger.com. They sell all kinds of industrial supplies, outdoor supplies. So if you work in an office, admittingly, it's harder to find stuff with them that you may use. I get batteries. I get first aid kits. There's all kinds of stuff I get from these weird type places because I always need batteries and first aid kits. So there are things like that you could find that you need, but it's not as easy as a Quill of the world would be. Wells Fargo Secure Credit Card. They offer purchase protection. Card has about a $25 annual fee. Report to Experian. You have 21-day grace period to pay, okay, which is a big deal because most business credit accounts, you don't get that, right? The day you're late, that day it starts hurting your score. You can get a credit line of $500 to $25,000 as well. Okay, so $25,000. And again, I know a lot of you are typing in questions. I will dive in and make sure that all of your questions are answered. Like I have some questions about tiers and things like that. We will definitely jump into this. I will make sure that all your questions are answered. But I've got limited time here to get through a bunch of stuff, so I'm going to get through this and I'll make sure I stay to hang out and answer your questions. You must supply your personal social, and they're going to do a credit check. Okay, it's only open to U.S. citizens and permanent resident of the United States for a reason, because you have to have a social. That's why. Apply online and store by phone. You need average credit with them, 620 plus credit score. This is the only one I'm going to show you that has a credit requirement, and they do. You need about a 620 credit score to get approved with them. Strategic Network Solutions. They offer technology training and tech support. To qualify, you need an EIN, business entity setup. You can visit them at stntsol.com. So Strategic Network Solutions is another one. I don't put it on here, but I'm pretty sure it's D&B that they actually report to as well. And they're good, man. They're like a real starter vendor. Like you find stuff that you want to buy with them, you buy it, they report it in 30 days without all those hoops that you have to jump through with sometimes Quill and U1. Gimplers, welcome back. Gimplers didn't work out very well for you stopping reporting, did it? Gimplers sells work supplies and products, which include outdoor workwear and safety supplies, pest management products, tires, and footwear. So Gimplers stopped reporting to D&B, and it's pretty funny because they were actually even commenting on our stuff saying, hey, take this down. We don't report anymore. We don't report. The backlash, I'm pretty sure, was so tremendous to them that within 60 days, they went back to reporting to D&B. So I'm pretty sure they report to D&B now, and they actually report to Credit Safe as well. They're going to want you to spend $50 or more. Invoice me option. They will pull your business credit. If you're not approved, make sure to prepay for your order. Keep purchasing and choosing the Invoice me option. With Gimplers, I applied by fax. They ask for social, the only one that does. I left the social blank, never put anything in the social security number field except for a social security number. Okay, I'm not an attorney and I'm not giving you legal advice, but I can tell you that is fraud. It is misrepresentation of your social security number. So you don't want to do that, but you want to leave the invoice it blank. Now Gimplers, they're typically going to want to see a couple accounts on your business credit before you get approved with them. Typically, that's what we found in our experience. We've never found anybody that got approved without having some initial business credit established. Labor Ready, they report to D&B. Multinational source of dependable labor for companies. They put people to work and enable their clients to achieve greater success. Okay, visit them online at peopleready.com. So what Labor Ready basically does, I'm pretty sure they report to D&B as well, and they report in 30 days. They just let you get labor for your business. So they won't let you do this as a person, as an individual. They used to, but now it's all businesses. So if you need people to do physical labor work for you, well, Labor Ready will do that. That's exactly what Labor Ready does. And then they will give it you, they will let you pay on credit and report the credit to the reporting agencies. To sign up, complete their online form and you'll receive an email notification about your app within 2 days. No PGs required, or you can call the branch closest to you wherever you're located. I actually have clients that live by them and go in there to get their credit. Let me know and let them know you want to be a customer. They will walk you through the application process. So that really walks you through, I don't know, we're going to look at more here. And I don't know how many we've went through already. Somebody's probably keeping track. I'm not. But we will talk through more as well other than that. And I'll show you more if you're hanging out with me here. I'll show you a bunch more other than just these 7 that we're talking about. So let me give you 3 other options as well. I told you that I would tell you 4 ways to get initial vendor credit. We're not done looking at vendors, guys. We're just almost done with slides. I'm going to show you the real good stuff here, as long as you're okay with doing so. But I want to introduce you to 3 other ways outside of vendors. Vendors might not be right for you. Vendors might not be the actual way that you want to go to actually come in and build business credit. So for example, you may decide that you don't want to use vendors, that you want other options to come in and be able to get business credit. So there are some other options as well that you should know about. So some other options, and one of those options, other than these ones we've kind of discussed so far, and I think we've talked about 6 so far, or no, 7. We talked about 7. We talked about Labor Ready, right? We talked about Gimplers. We talked about Strategic. We talked about Granger. We talked about Uline, Quill, Wells Fargo. So we've already talked about 7, but we'll dive into more. Don't worry. So unsecured business financing, here's how it works. Basically, you can get 0% credit lines for your business. Here's the catch. I'll tell you the catch before I even tell you about the product. You got to have a 680 FICO score higher or a guarantor for this alternative option to work. So vendors don't care about personal credit. This one does. But here's the benefit. If you have a 680 FICO or a guarantor that does, you get 0% credit lines up to 150 grand. And these credit lines report to the business reporting agencies. And you need a good score to get them. But what happens is instead of using vendors to build business credit, you get initial cash credit, Visa cards, MasterCards, credit lines. You get about 5 of them. They report to the business reporting agencies. You can take the cash out just like you can credit lines. So you're getting up to 150 grand in funding at 0% rates that build your business credit at the same time. It's the most unbelievable program I've seen, and it works for startups too because it's no doc financing. But you got to have that 680 or a guarantor with it. If you don't have that, this option won't work for you, but something to consider. Now, there's 2 other options as well. One is a way to add accounts through D&B's Credit Builder. D&B, Dun & Bradstreet, has a credit builder program. It's $149 a month, 159. Yeah, they lowered it from 159 to 149 a month. And basically for that, you can monitor D&B and you can add items that you already have to your D&B credit reports. Not a bad gig. Let's say you pay software company. You could add that software to D&B. There are some things to keep in mind, and I'm not scrolling on this slide because I didn't actually put any bullets on there about this, but the way that it works is that you can add utilities, you can add bank credit, you can add rent, you can add leases, but any other things they theoretically say you can add. So software and other things you may pay monthly, you may be able to add to your business credit reports. Now, full disclosure, it's not easy. Everything I've heard, D&B will call your credit issuer, and if they can't get them on the first time, you have to get on the phone and go back and forth with D&B to get them to call again. The people that complain about this have 2 complaints. One, it's very difficult to get D&B to reach out to the credit issuer. It takes a bunch of time to get the accounts added. The second complaint is that most accounts you want to add, you can't. You can't add utilities. You can't add bank credit. You can't add credit cards. You can't add rent. You can't add lease. If you think about most bills you pay in your business, like that's all of them. There's very few bills you pay outside of that. So very few bills you can add. There's also something brand new that I'm going to introduce you to, and I'm breaking my own code here. I don't usually introduce people to things before they actually come out, but I'm pretty excited about this. So we've recently come across a way that you can basically, starting in November, add accounts to your Experian and Credit Safe credit report. All the accounts that D&B won't let you add. You can add utility accounts, every utility account you can think of, including phone and internet and power, satellite TV. You can add your mobile phones as well to both Experian and Credit Safe credit reports. As a matter of fact, we're working with Credit Safe right now to get the monitoring, because this is part of a credit monitoring package, the actual monitoring included. So even by getting this, you're building a trade line with them right away. And you're also going to be able to add third parties to your business credit reports. So what's a third party? We are Credit Suite, a software company, Infusionsoft. They do CRM software. You could add those payments backdated to your business credit reports. It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. Add 2 years of history to your business credit reports and all your future payments seamlessly. So this is something brand new to roll out, and third-party accounts, as I mentioned. Now, if you're asking when, where, how's this going to work, I can only tell you this. First, this comes out to our clients. Our clients are going to beta test this and see how effective this is. We've already been doing testing for 90 days, and so far we've seen accounts report. They take 30 days to report. They're staying on the reports. Everything is good. And then we'll eventually consider rolling this out to everybody as part of probably a credit monitoring product. But like anything, we'd like our clients to have access to this as early as possible. So this is a brand new way to build business credit that the industry and people have never seen before. It gives you the ability to add your phone, your internet, your cell phone, your mobile phone. So what's the benefit here? Imagine if you could just add stuff you already have, and that gives you the 5 trades that you need. Then you use the 5 trades on Experian to start getting revolving credit that reports to DMB and Equifax, and then you're building all of your business credit by using accounts you already have to start versus vendor. Pretty cool, right? But again, don't write off vendors just yet, because this is brand new to the scene. We just discovered it. Well, actually, we discovered it a year ago and walked through the process to make sure, while the approval with Experian was done. We partnered with the reporting agency that oversees all this. So it's really been interesting, but this is a great alternative solution that the industry's never seen to build initial business credit. We'll start to see this roll out in November to our clients. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. So that being said, I still have some time. Not a lot, but I got some. So is everybody okay if I go through our system, show you more vendors, show you the rest of the steps of building business credit, loans, financing? Type in yes if that's cool, because I want to be aware of your time. I told you we were going 90 minutes. I have 35 more. I'd like to do that if you're cool. Okay. All right, cool. Got plenty of yeses. I want to be aware of your time, right? We're all business owners, so I understand the value of it. So here is our finance suite. This is just so you know, this is a system called the Business Finance Suite. And this is our system where we help our clients build business credit and get financing. So the testimonials you see and things like that, this is the system that our clients use to build business credit. You can also use this to sell business credit financing, but let's talk about going into the business credit building process. So I'm going to take you backwards. We're going to go back in time a little. So the very first thing you want to do when you start building business credit is you got to set up this credibility. Look, think of it like this. Lenders and credit issuers all have computers make approvals. Well, mostly credit issuers. Well, both, but we'll just use credit issuers. So credit issuers are issuing credit based on computers, automated approvals. So how do they know whether to approve you or deny you? Well, this is kind of a secret formula that lenders and credit issuers all have, which has to do with setting up your business credibility. If you set up the business credibility the right way, well, then you typically can move pretty quick through the process and be able to get a lot of automated approvals. If you don't, these throw up red flags and get you denied. So the very first thing is business name. So you need to make sure that you set up your business name, make sure it's available with the Secretary of State. So we have every Secretary of State so you can access it. And you also want to make sure it's not on a restricted industry. Here's a list of all restricted industries, high-risk industries. This changes daily, and we update it daily. So you wouldn't want your name to reflect that you're in check cashing agency or bail bonds, because the name itself reflecting that you are in one of these could automatically throw up a red flag. So again, the finance suite would just make it easy because you can watch short videos that explain all this to you. So for example, this is 3 minutes, this is 48 seconds. If you're a Spanish speaker, you just simply come down here and click Spanish and you can see that, voila, it's like magic. The whole thing changes from Spanish to English. So this will walk you through each one of these components, but you got to set up that business name credibly. You also need to make sure you set up your business address the right way. You cannot use a PO box or a UPS address. You want to use a real physical business address, a virtual address for 2, or a home address at last resort. And again, if you want to add a virtual address, you can come right here, click resources, and find the best sources for virtual offices, etc. Now, you need to be aware that home address picture or address pictures from Google Maps are now showing up on DMB report. So if you use your home, you can expect to see literally a physical picture of your house on your credit report, which is, again, things we address in the training video, little things like that you need to know. You got to set that business address. Any entity can build business credit. but choose a corporation or an LLC. Those limit your liability. And again, through our 2-minute video training here and all the other resources, the information, we help you go ahead and get set up and access that entity the right way. So you can usually choose an LLC or corporation. Partnerships and sole props, you're always going to be liable for what goes on in the business. You also want to make sure that you come in and that you actually are doing you want to make sure that you actually have a business phone number. So you can never go through and apply without having a business phone. You don't want to use home phone. You don't want to use mobile phone. Voice over IP will work. Toll free is something you want. You also need to make sure the phone number is listed with 411. And the reason for that is that you can't do it. You can't. Like you can't go to 411 and get your number listed. They won't list your phone number with 411. Okay, but what you can do is right here, if you click that you want to be listed with 411, we list it for you through a service called List Yourself. List Yourself charges $30 per client per month. So it's 300, well, that's what they would charge you. We order in serious bulk. It's 360 bucks a year. Now we pay for our clients for this and we do it for a reason. We told them all they needed to buy it. They wouldn't do it. And then they were all failing. So we just said, well, we're just going to do it for you because this step's so important. Why is this important? Simple. You can't fake it. Since you can't list yourself with 411, then lenders and credit issuers use this as a check for credibility because you can't list yourself. So typically the only way 411 picks you up is if for some reason your business becomes more well established. I shouldn't say for some reason. It becomes more established in due time. But we're all about speed. You'll see that when we build business credit, when I talk about it, speed, fast, 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 fast. What's the fastest way we can get you to the end goal? Well, again, this listing with 411 just gets you there faster than waiting for you organically to show up. Website, you need to have a professional website set up, professional email address. You don't want to use Gmail type email addresses. You need an EIN. Business credit's built under that EIN, not the DUNS. Any necessary business licenses, places like Granger, it helps you to have a business license. Business bank account. What you need to do to set the bank account up to get references, how your bank credit score works. You need to know those things. So we dive in, talk about those things. Getting a merchant account set up. So all these things are very important to setting up the credibility of the business that lenders and credit issuers are looking at. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you want to get established with the business credit reporting agencies. Remember, I told you some sources want to see Dunn's number from Dun & Bradstreet. So how do you get that? Well, you open up your pockets. No, Dun & Bradstreet is going to try to charge you about $1,500 to $2,100 for your DUNS number and the activation of your actual credit profile. So again, it's about 150 bucks a month, 1,500 to $2,000 they're going to charge you, but you can go to Dun & Bradstreet to get the DUNS number. It's just, again, when you contact them, they're going to try to charge you for this. So we're walking you through this in this step to get the DUNS number. We're actually helping you get set up in one click to set up your DUNS number without having to pay to do so. Same thing with Experian and Equifax. Remember, we talked about this. You can be issued a failing score if you have no credit. So it becomes extremely important that we come in and do a check to make sure that you have credit or not. So in one check, you're able to come in, check with Experian, and you're able to get what's called your BIN number, your business identification number. So your BIN number is like the DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet. So we'll help you get that BIN number, help you get set up with Equifax as well. And if you have negative items on your business credit report, you want to get those fixed. We help you in one click, depending on the reporting agency, to fix those. So it makes it easy to report D&B, Experian, and Equifax to fix business credit. If you're not a client, if you're not using a system like this, you just need to know you can do it, but you're going to have to work with the credit reporting agencies directly to dispute anything on your report. You want to get that done before you start building business credit. Next, we start building business credit. Now, we have a lot of vendors that you're not going to typically see. We have ones here that are gas stations and sell home stuff, as you're seeing. I'm showing you a ton of them. We've got website design. We've got SEO. We've got hardware stuff. We've also got a lot of the ones that we've talked to you about. Behalf lets you accept payments from customers and then actually lets you build business credit by doing that as well, and on and on and on. So you can see here, first of all, the reason we have so many is because we make them. Since most trade vendors don't report, we partner with companies that sell products our clients need, and we help them get the ability to report. So we help them report, so it gives you access to more trade lines, because why not get SEO? Why not get business credit while getting a website? That's stuff you need anyways, right? We have phone service. You can get a monthly phone service like 20, 30 bucks a month, and that reports to the business credit reporting agency. You can buy t-shirts for your company, it reports to the business reporting agency. We have these because I mean, so many people complain that they can't find vendors to find the stuff they want. So we create them so you have stuff that you want. But this is what's important when you're building business credit. You need to know where they report. You need to know what the company sells. You need to know the specific instructions to get approved. If you don't know that you need to pay the invoice 2 weeks after receiving it, or that that you've got to apply and wait 30 days or 90 days, you're going to fail. You're not going to know how to do this. So what we're doing here is, with every source, we have relationships with the underwriters. We're actually listing exactly what their underwriting requirements are. Why? Because it's freaking brilliant. Why not? How helpful would it be if every time you went to apply for a credit card, somebody told you exactly what every requirement was before you applied? Here's the other question. If you didn't meet the requirements, would you apply? Probably not. So we're creating an environment where you're only ever applying for credit you can actually get. And that radically expedites the business credit building process, because you're not going through this trial and error of applying and getting denied. So we list the underwriting guidelines. We make it in color. This would be grayed out if you couldn't qualify. We're telling you exactly how many accounts you need to get to this step, how many accounts you need in this step reporting. And we break it down, as somebody asked, into tiers of credit, order of credit to apply for, to make it super simple. It's so super simple. You walk through, you apply, you get the accounts you need. You get the accounts you need. Next thing you do is you monitor your business credit. You watch these accounts actually report on your business credit reports. Now, you can get credit monitoring with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. It's $150 with D&B. It's Experian, it's $50, and with Equifax, $20. That's how much it is to get credit monitoring. Pretty expensive, right? You can see here, if I go right here to D&B's credit monitoring, we can see it takes a while for their page to populate because D&B doesn't have enough money, apparently, to make their site fast. $149 a month. Okay, so what we have is the ability for you to build business credit without paying these exorbitant fees. Instead of paying $200 with Experian and with D&B, then you can come in here and get set up with our integration with Nav. And in doing so, you can access Experian and D&B credit reports. And it's only $24 a month for both. You can see the score here, 73. You can see the business information here, SIC, all your company, the summary data, lawsuits, tax liens, all that information is here. You can see the accounts you actually have reported, all the accounts. You need to see these reporting to know when to get to the next step. You can see public records. You can even set up alerts when things change. You can do the same thing with Experian as well. By the way, this is Pixar's credit report, because I can look at Pixar's. You know why? Because it's public information. Pixar, pay your bills. It's not good. Okay, so you can see here business information, factors, all of this with Experian DB. So it saves you a ton of money. Instead of, I'm going to tell you a little bit later how to get this for 24, but it's $24 versus paying these guys $200 for Experian and from D&B. So it's very important. Now we get to what the next step in business credit building. Once we've got about 5 accounts reporting, then you can move on to the next. Now, I grade these out for a reason. They're not recommended because I don't have enough trade lines to apply. So you can see how we grade out to expedite business credit building. Wawa, Ryder Truck Rental. I mean, almost every major retailer in the country, from grocery stores like Meijer to supply companies like HD Supply to Amazon that sells like everything, to Staples and Macy's, even Macy's offers business credit. Fleet Cards, budget to rent cars, you could build business credit. Fleet cards, gas cards, all of these you start to be able to get when you have about 5 accounts reporting on your business credit reports. And then you just continue. From this point on, you're just continuing to get more credit. The more trades you have, the more accounts you get, right? So here we go. There's Royal Farms and there's Tractor Supply and Shell and Office Supply, Walmart, Home Depot. I mean, all these Sears are retailers we're obviously all familiar with. Speedway, Chevron, Sinclair. Again, almost every major retailer offers this kind of business credit, okay, including even having the ability to come in and be able to get auto vehicle financing through Ford, through GM, be able to get all kinds of other financing as well. So here's Ally financing for cars, and here's cash credit with PNC, right? And Dell and MasterCards. And so now it's just kind of pick what you want. You know you have the accounts to be able to get approved. They're lit up so you know you have them. You're in the right order. So it literally is just a matter of coming in and just grabbing the credit that you actually want to get at that point. But again, And there's a lot of credit issuers that don't report. So the key is to understand this process, to understand that you got to set up that credibility. You got to get those initial business credit reports established, get the DUNS, get the BIN from Experian, get those vendors. That's step 3. That's what we talked about today in the webinar. And then you monitor those business credit reports to get monitoring after that. And then you just start going through the accounts to get approved for Amex and all the other credit you want. Again, without the personal guarantee, without the personal credit check, cell phone payment or payments. Fundbox does a credit line with no credit check, which I think is awesome. So just about every kind of credit that you want. Now, we did talk a little bit about financing as well. And again, this makes it super easy because we pulled together every legitimate funding source into one. So if your credit sucks, but you've got some revenue, you can get revenue financing. If your credit's good and you're a startup or not, you can get the unsecured credit line. If you want to buy equipment as a startup, or you have a 401k or stocks or bonds or account receivables or purchase orders, you want to get real estate, you want to get private equity. We work with over 1,000 lenders in every legitimate funding source for a reason. It is stupid that lenders only offer one kind of product. I'm sorry, I don't even like to use the word stupid. My kids literally think it's a bad word. They think it's a curse word. But it is ridiculous that lenders only offer one kind of product, because if you go to OnDeck and you have excellent personal credit, they will deny you because you don't have the revenue for revenue financing. But if you went to another lender with good credit, you could get this kind of financing even with no revenue. If you have good credit and revenue, you went to a revenue lender, you'd only get this. But we would get you this and this. Okay, I had a client and a friend of mine that actually was starting a new business, needed this, and wanted to buy equipment. I said, don't use this and this money to buy this. Let's use this money as the down payment for this. Then we get you financing for this. We get you credit lines here, and we get you the loan here. Having the ability to offer a bunch of different kind of financing through over 1,000 lenders helps you get more money at the best terms. And again, if you're working with us through the system, our business advisors help you through the process, hold your hand every step of the way. Our finance officers help you with every aspect of getting financing, so you never need to look for financing elsewhere either. And also, if you did have an interest, you could offer business credit financing as a service as well, where we give you the ability to come in and get trained on everything you need to know to offer business credit and financing. So we have what's called basic training, which is a 7-step process, just like our business credit builder, that walks you through the actual process of presenting and understanding business credit and knowing financing and everything you would need to actually be successful. And we give you every resource you'd possibly need to offer business credit financing as well. Contracts and agreements and ebooks and emails and marketing flyers, PowerPoints, press releases, seminars, social media posts, just about everything you could possibly imagine. We give you basically like a business in a box, like a franchise, but you just don't have a hefty franchise fee. And you can see here the quality of the resources that you actually get if you are, and this is it, this is the quality. That's high quality black right there. And then you can see these are all customizable in your name. So that being said, that is our finance suite. That's the step that our customers actually follow. And I want to show you that because I don't want you to actually just think this is theory. I want you to see, here's conceptually how it works, and here's physically how 15,000 people have done it so far. So here's Marlon. I was looking for a fast way to get money to grow my consumer credit business. After failing to get approved for loans in several banks, I discovered Credit Suite. After getting initial vendor accounts, I continued applying and getting all types of credit, and now have over 100 business credit cards in my wallets, totaling over $1 million in total available credit. I have fleet credit that I use for auto repairs and fuel. I have cash credit with most major banks, Bank of America and Wells Fargo. I secured almost all this credit without a PG and credit check, and I've been able to get loans with many sources, including PayPal and Kabbage, and low rates and loans over 100,000. And here's a couple pictures of Marlon showing all of his credit cards that he's obtained. So look, you're watching this webinar now because on your computer, phone, or tablet, because you're probably looking for the easiest way to be able to get money for your business, probably the fastest way as well. You probably have already struggled to get the money that you need and credit you need, and have yet to find a simple solution. Well, look, with us, if you are working with us, you get business credit for your business that's not linked to your social through the top selling system. We've sold over 15,000 finance suites, and you get access to funding for your business. You never need to worry about money again. Look, if you're doing this on your own and you need a loan, where are you going to go? I mean, that's the problem that people face. And then there's this ridiculous process that you have to go finding the right lender and program. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And definitely for the rest of your business, We work with all these lenders. We get wholesale rates. We negotiate to even get you even better terms than you get on your own. So it's all available in one place. You can do this in English and Spanish. Our reps speak English, our reps speak Spanish, and our systems in English and Spanish. We are a bilingual company, so we can help you and your customers both ways. Okay, our cutting edge technology helps you meet those credibility requirements before you apply. Remember, setting up the business name the right way where you're not in a high risk industry, setting up your entity the right way to limit liability, getting the EIN, setting up your business address the right way where you get approved and not choosing the addresses that will get you denied, getting your phone listed with 411 without spending the $360 every year that it will cost you to do so, the website, the email setup, your licensing, your bank account, your merchant account. We're helping you set up all of that. Why? Man, this is so important. You know, I can't tell you how many people go in to get loans, credit lines, and credit cards, get denied, get mad, come to us, and we find something simple in this equation that they could have fixed. I told you about the samples. Their address did not match the address that was listed with the Secretary of State. And that's why they got denied that bank loan. When we told them that and they fixed it, they immediately then were able to turn around and get it fixed. And right now, I'll let another cat out of the bag. So, and right now we are in the process, we have partnered with LexisNexis to produce the very first ever front-facing consumer score. Why? LexisNexis is where all these guys get the data from. They're all getting data from LexisNexis, from Small Business Financial Exchange. We're working with them to pull all the data out of their systems and then put it into a score and cross-check it against your data to make sure that the data you're entering in our system or on the application is exactly the same as what the lenders and credit issuers will see. This incongruency of information that you have that's different from other places that's listed online is one of the biggest reasons that financing gets denied, believe it or not. So we helping you get set up with all three reporting agencies. You're not going to spend $2,000 with Dun & Bradstreet to get set up with them. We're helping you get established, get your DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet, your BIN number with Experian. We're helping you get set up with the Equifax as well. Okay, you get access to discontinued or discounted business credit reports, your free DUNS number, which saves you that money. Help you dispute and fix inaccuracies with all three reporting agencies as well. The largest supply of starter vendors. Why? Because we make our own, right? So we make our own starter vendors. So that way you actually have the largest selection because we're helping them get into the business of reporting. We're giving the selection of revolving store credit. You saw how much credit was there, the cash credit, the Visa credit, the MasterCard that everybody says is so hard to find because these sources change daily, whether they have it or not. Key Bank used to be big, then they're gone. PNC's here, then they're gone. BJ's is here, then they're gone. These guys come and go all the time. So we've got relationships with all these credit issuers, so the information you're being exposed to is always accurate. And that's the problem. You're not getting information from forums and applying for creditors that no longer even report, waiting months for things to be able to happen, and all that without the personal credit check, without the guarantee. Cash flow financing, asset-based loans as low as 2% rates, the unsecured credit lines, private money, alternative SBA loans, venture capital. We work with SBA loans as well, term loans, lines of credit. We call this a graduation. What we do is help clients graduate. Here's the money you can get now. Here's what you need to do to get to the next step. Here's what it takes to get a term loan and a line of credit. We help you graduate to that level. Then let's help you graduate to the final level, which is SBA. We help you get to the best loan as quickly as possible by understanding what it takes to get to that next step, so you can access the loans and credit lines you want to, not just the revolving credit cards. And with our partner program, we're giving you everything you need to basically succeed. It's like I said, it's the equivalent of a business in a box without paying a franchise fee. Contracts, sales agreements, seminars, a full website, 3 press releases, PowerPoints, ebooks, a year's worth of email and social media posts. I mean, it's an entire business in a box, including articles, training on finance. We help you close your sale. We'll even close the sales for you to make it easy to offer business credit and financing. So look, if you're getting started today as part of this webinar, I want to make sure that you get 2 things: some cool bonuses, and the second thing on top of that is I want to make sure you get a discount, because we just hung out together for 90 minutes and I want to make sure it's worth your time. I mean, my goal is 1 of 2 things. Either 1, you don't work with us, and at least you got a lot of really good information out of this to at least put you on the right path to do this on your own. Or 2, work with us. We'll help you get results, a 1.5 years faster than you get on your own. And as I'll show you here, it's actually cheaper than doing it on your own. So with our top plan, if you're looking online, it's about $7,100 is our top plan online. The special discount's only available for this webinar, and it's available through Friday. So by Friday, when you go to the checkout page, we're probably going to take it down. And I'd say probably take it down, because unless we have another webinar right behind it, which we typically don't, you're going to see the discount bonuses, those type of things go away, but the program's still there, just costs more without the bonuses. So you got a couple options here. If you're looking to just build business credit and get financing, you have no interest in offering business credit and financing at all as a service, well, then we have what's called our core program. And our core program is 7 payments of $497 or 1 payment of only $24.97. Now, if the payments are too much, no worries. I'm going to give you our information to just let us know. We'll customize payments for you. We'll do it weekly, we'll do it monthly, we'll change the payments to make it work. So the point of the matter is, does it make sense? If you kind of like our finance suite, like the idea of working with us, working with advisors, building your business credit in 4 to 6 months versus 18, getting access to the financing, the finance officers not ever have to worry about those things. And if that makes sense to you, well, then we'll work with you with payments and the affordability. We have all different ways to make that possible. Now, also option 2, if you want to offer business credit financing as a service, as well as getting it for your business, it's 7 payments of $597 or 1 payment of $34.97. Now, look, it's typically going to take you, on average, we see 18 to 24 months to do this on your own when we get it done in 4 to 6 months. So it saves you a bunch of time. And you have to ask, if you get the money 18 months sooner, what can that mean for your business? I don't know. I always tell people, life comes down to time or money. You kind of have to decide. In this case, you're gaining a bunch of time, but here's the kicker. You're also getting it for less than you'd pay on your own. Credit monitoring alone, as you saw, is $200-something a month. It's $2,500 a year. With us, it's $300 a year. You save $2,200 on credit monitoring alone. We're helping you get the DUNS. We're helping you not pay the $360 to list yourself for the 411. You're getting a business valuations, which I never even shown you that, to actually see the value of your business anytime you want. And I'll show you that in a second. So it saves you money as well. Now we'll customize a payment plan for you. So if you like the idea, but the payments I showed you don't make sense, well, we'll customize that for you. Okay, we work with services like Fundbox Pay, and they finance it for you. They'll offer you affordable payments. Okay, and we can also help you get financing, loans, etc. as well, so that could help you there. And it's risk-free. Look, if you don't think we're making sure that you're getting access to everything, even if you make the first payment. So think of it like this. We're letting you finance something for 7 to 9 months, or basically 7 months in this case. And then we're giving you full access to our advisors, our system, our finance officers, everything from day one. Because look, we know that you're going to love it that much. It shifts the risk to us because you even make 1 payment and you're getting full access instead of waiting to get access until all your payments are made. So to get going, creditsuite.com/webinar. Okay, it looks like this. It's very easy to enroll. If you go to creditsuite.com/webinar, you are going to see this page here. Core is to get business credit financing. VIP is to get business credit financing and offered as a service. You can hover your mouse here and see details of everything. You just simply find the one that you want, click the buy it now, and in doing so, you'll then have options. And typically, we're giving you multiple options to finance. So you'll get 1 option here, and then you'll also be able to get 7 payments or 3 payments. So it's that simple. You enter your information, you choose that, and the minute that you're done, you get access to everything. You get immediate email to set up your login. It's 6:30 Eastern, so our advisor team will call you first thing in the morning. They will call you 5 times the first 5 days. The entire advising team's goal is to get you through step 1, 2, and 3, really on call 1, or worst case scenario, week 1. So our goal is to get you through setting up your credibility, getting you set up with the reporting agencies, and getting your initial vendors done within the first call. And here's why. What we found is that the minute you get those first approvals, like you're committed, you're pumped, you're like, this works. That's like the check mark in the brain that says, okay, like I just got approvals. This whole thing really, really, really works. And then everybody gets excited and then aggressively starts going through the rest of the process. So our goal with advisors is to get you through step 1, 2, and 3 on first call or in first week. It depends on where you are with credibility, right? Whether you're a brand new business or an established business. And I've also promised you some bonuses. So our advisors are going to call you first thing in the morning, 30 days. Or 30-minute initial call. They'll spend 60 minutes with you, as long as it takes to get you every question you have answered, and again through step 1 and 3. We're also going to give you that credit monitoring for only $24 a month. It saves you over $2,200 annually. Guys, think about this. It's $2,500 to get started, and we broke it down into payments. The very first year you do this on your own, you're going to spend $2,200 more on credit monitoring, and you're going to do it on your own and take a process that can be done in 6 months and extend it out to 18. 3, free business valuation to know how much your business is worth. It's a 28-page report, okay, worth about $1,000, and it tells you what your business is worth and the things you need to do to raise the value, even compares your business to everybody else. Now, just so you know, you do get business valuations as part of your enrollment as well. Here's what that process looks like. Whoa, that's what happens when you stay logged in too long to BizEquity. So if you come in here, we have a relationship with BizEquity where you can see the estimated value of your business. Check this out. If I change, oh, no, that's not what I want to do 10,000. You can see any of this you change, and in real time, your value changes. So at any given time, you can see how much your business is worth just by clicking right here, business valuation, anytime, as many times as you want to do it. But when you're done with all of these, you're also going to get a 28-page report that compares you to others that you can really use. And a already published book. If you look at my book, Business Credit Decoded, I'm giving it to you in a format that you can basically republish it in your name. Why? Because a published author gives you a ton of credibility. And so we want you to have credibility, especially if you're thinking about offering business credit financing. And we give you an unconditional guarantee. If you get started but don't feel what you receive is worth every penny of what you paid, or that you'll be able to make your money back with our partner program, we give you 100% of your money back. Will we really do that? Well, just look at our credibility online. I mean, you can do any kind of search to be able to see our credibility online. Okay, but if you go to our website, we try to kind of do all that research for you and give you everything you need in one shot. So you can come here, and I showed you some approvals. This is approvals, because you look at the world that I live in. Every single one of these are actual approvals for credit, and there's so many that it even takes time for all the images to populate. The images can't even catch up. Look at this, just scroll. There's I think 150, 200 approval sources here, every type of account you can imagine. Okay, so here's a 13,500 approval. All of these are real approvals that you can see. So you can actually see tons and tons and tons of approvals to see that we do exactly as we say we're gonna do. And beyond that, you can also come in and just look at our credibility. We're A+ with the Better Business Bureau, and we are not accredited. Woohoo! That means we're A+ and we didn't pay them a dime to get to be A+. We just got to A+ because we've never had a complaint in the lifetime of the company. And then we also, you can see Sotellus reviews and case studies and Trustpilot reviews. And again, these are pretty elaborate. I mean, you'll see that we include 3, 4, 5s, but these are people really giving elaborate testimonials of their experiences. I mean, this isn't just somebody that gave us a rating. And there's not just some of these. I can scroll on and page after page after page of this. So again, look, it's real simple. If you are serious, this is a process. If you're serious about this, we'll help you succeed. If you're not, here's your money back. Go. We don't want to work with people that aren't serious about succeeding. So if you get into this and go, man, I know I knew it was a process, but I don't want to do this, or then we just give you your money back. It's why we have no complaints. It's that simple. 1, we do what we say we're going to do, and we produce the results we say we're going to produce. And 2, if you're not happy, we give you your money back. It's as simple as that. That's why we've got a perfect reputation. So to recap, you're getting your own finance suite, 24/7 access. It's mobile friendly, so you can sit on the pooper and use your iPad if you'd like to. Concierge Business Credit Advising. We'll call you 5 times the first 5 days, regularly after that. We don't just we're not customer support. We're calling you. Okay, free DUNS number with D&B, BIN number with Experian. We're setting that up, saving you the $1,500, $2,000 you may pay D&B. Okay, we're also helping you get set up the largest supply of starter vendors, revolving credit sources, the financing, the up to $150,000 in unsecured financing, the finance officers, the free 411 listing, the Visa cards, the MasterCard sources. We're helping you fix credit with all 3 reporting agencies, get fleet credit, auto vehicle financing. We're giving you that bonus of $24 credit monitoring to save you $2,200 a year. You get asset-based financing. What is this? It means if you have account receivables, purchase orders, 401k, stocks, bonds, investor, or anybody that's investor or partners that have that, you can get super low rate financing as well. Okay, and again, with our partner program, you're getting basically everything you need to run your business like a franchise, but again, without the franchise fee. And don't forget about the bonuses as well. The 30-minute call with our advisors, the credit monitoring, which saves you $2,200 a year, the business valuation report, the free ready to publish book. I mean, I'm giving you literally thousands of dollars worth of value at no extra cost. And again, if you don't think it's worth every penny you paid, if you don't think you'll be able to make back many times what you paid, we give you 100% of your money back. It's that simple. That's why we have a perfect reputation. We only work with people that are serious. If you're serious, we take a 2-year process, we condense it to 6 months. If you're not serious, then and you get in, then somehow you made it in, we give you the money back. It's as simple as that. So as I said, I want to stay around and answer every question that you may have, or try to. I'm not going to answer them all. I might follow up by phone or email even as soon as tomorrow to make sure that your questions are answered. But again, my goal is to help you succeed with building business credit. You either leave this webinar with a lot of information that you didn't have before, and now you know at least the basics to get started. And yes, it's going to take you longer because it's a lot of trial and error. And yes, it will cost you more. But if that's the path you want to go, you have the information to get started down that path. And you also have another quicker route for the people that say, look, I don't want to wait 2 years. I'd rather do it in 6 months. And I get this. I get the value of what you have. Nothing like that exists. Business credit financing in one place. Never need to worry about financing again. And in the end, I'm going to pay D&B this. I'm going to pay this for monitoring and this for 411 and this for valuations. And I'm going to pay all this. And you're doing all these other things with LexisNexis and letting us add stuff to reports that you're working on in the future. You either get that or you don't. If it makes sense, it makes sense. Great. But if not, again, my goal is that you at least leave with a bunch of information that you didn't have before you came in. So let me say hi, Mary. Hi, Neil. Thanks for coming in. And I did not see anywhere on online app with Uline. I put things in there in my cart. There is no application. Again, the key is to set things up with Uline and to set up an account with them online, and then they give you the ability to apply, but you have to set up that account. I'm a consultant. Don't purchase much other than travel, meals. I don't have suppliers. What do you suggest for this type of business? Well, I think you can still use Uline, Quill, those kind of vendors to be able to build business credit. You could take credit you already have and try the D&B route. I think that could work. But look, for me, if you're willing to spend 200, 250 bucks to buy stuff at vendors, just buy the stuff at vendors. Use Granger to buy first aid kits, and use Gimplers to buy batteries, and there's a million things you're going to be able to use with those vendors, and at least that will help you get the initial credit profile and score. And of course, if you have the good credit, the unsecured option can work for you as well. Can you explain tiers? We did go through that. Jorge says a question on the order to establish this credit. I want to make sure I get everything correct. The first thing I need to do is get a business address. Regis, have an 800 number, include a fax number, get listed with 411. Yes, do your credibility first. You are correct. Okay, submit statement of information to Secretary of State. Yes, because you need to get all that stuff set up, because your EIN and your Secretary of State's going to ask for that. So then you get that stuff. Okay, then after it posts, update bank account, correct. In order to, well, you missed a step. After Secretary of State, you'd have to get your EIN, because you need the EIN to get the bank account, and then get D&B. But you could get D&B before all this other stuff. If you looked at that order I already showed you, I know you asked this before I went through that order. What's the other business bureau you mentioned? Gimplers, Granger, reports to. Well, there's 4 credit reporting agencies. There's Dun and Bradstreet, there's Experian, there's Equifax, and then there's CreditSafe. Now, CreditSafe is big in the UK, and they're making their way here. So they're becoming a force to be reckoned with. So we've started to include in our finance suite who reports to CreditSafe. We've started to partner with CreditSafe to make their reports accessible to you. We've started to partner with CreditSafe to get things added to the reports. We report to CreditSafe. So whenever you enroll with us, you build business credit. We actually take your payments, and then we report your payments to CreditSafe. So you're getting high limit trades the minute you work with us. So we're working on helping our clients build out CreditSafe, because we know CreditSafe is coming and we want you to be prepared. So how do I, okay, I just did the program with your company with PGs. They do report unless you pay late. Well, again, cash credit doesn't matter if it reports or not. The key is to be able to get it without the PG and the personal credit check. And you're right, some of it reports, some of it doesn't. Like BJ's reports, PNC doesn't in a lot of cases. So again, what it comes down to is we've got plenty of accounts that don't report. It doesn't matter if they report at the cash credit tier. Here's why. You don't care. What you care about is building credit to get to the cash credit tier. When you're at the cash credit tier, it doesn't really matter if they report or not, because you're still at that point able to get any kind of credit that you need. So for example, we have a lot of these non-reporting trade accounts here, and it's still really good credit you'd want to get. Amex coming down and being able to get credit with T-Mobile and Sprint, and they don't report, but the benefit of it is that you got the credit without the PG and the credit check. So you're right, there's a lot of credit out there that doesn't report, including cell phones, but it's still beneficial because you can get the credit without the PG and the credit check. So hopefully that helps answer the question. The first process to get the EIN, again, the first process is to set up the business credibly. To get the EIN, you need to have the phone, the address. So if you'll see in our business credibility, there's a reason we break it down into the tiers we do, because you need to get these other things before you even get to the EIN number. That's why you want to set up the stuff that is going to be asked for when you get the EIN. Is that 680 score has to be your regular credit score, your EIN? Well, your business credit scores only go to 100. So when I talked about that program that you could get approved for with the financing, with the unsecured business financing, where we talked about that, where are we at here with Finance My Business? With that, you need to have a 680 personal FICO. Remember, I talked about 3 alternatives to building using trade lines, and those basically were, one of those was unsecured business financing, where somebody has good credit, okay? And for that, that is something where you've got to have a 680 consumer FICO score to get approved for that option. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question. Okay, what's the best route to take for building business credit when you have a fashion company? I need vendors who sell t-shirts, hats, and sweaters. The problem is that you're not going to find, you can find vendors that sell you that stuff. What you really need is purchase order financing, it sounds like. And that's purchase order financing is something you could definitely get. Okay, so here's, for example, PO financing. And when you're talking about purchase order financing, this is where you could get the money you need to buy those things. I don't think you need trade vendors that do it. I think you need purchase order financing. It would get you those things. Trade vendors that do that, you're not going to find a lot that do it and report. We do have a t-shirt company that will help you with that, but most of these trade vendors that you're talking about, you can use purchase order for financing to be able to get those. So hopefully that helps. When you pay for your items for your business, can you use your personal bank card, or do you need to use your business bank card? You really, well, I'm not an accountant, but I can tell you that what you're describing is commingling expenses, and that could be a serious problem for you. So you need to use a business card if it's for business purposes. Is there a CRM with us? Yeah, there is. Kind of. Maybe. Yes, no. Here's the answer. So not here. If you go to our main program, where are we at? If you go to our main program in pricing, you'll see something called our ultimate program. And keep in mind, I'm going to go back here. You're going to, let me close this. Okay, so if you go to pricing, you're going to be exposed to a third program I didn't include in this, and we will give you a discount. It's called our Ultimate program. And our Ultimate program comes with its own CRM, but it's through ActiveCampaign. So if you're familiar with ActiveCampaign, then you're getting the ActiveCampaign program. The whole thing is set up for you. And if you go down, you'll be able to see everything that our images, you'll be able to see everything that our actual ActiveCampaign does. Here's, not to complicate things, but the Ultimate program, we do it all. We set the whole thing up for you. Not only do you get a CRM, we build everything in the CRM for you. The landing pages are set up. The website is set up for you. All of your emails, the whole email funnel is already set up for you. The whole CRM has logic where if somebody clicks, they get points. When they get so many points, they get sent a sales presentation that sells the finance suite for you. So our Ultimate program automates the whole thing. It comes with a CRM, and then on top of the CRM, you get the whole automation. The ebooks are set up for you. They're plugged into the website. They're plugged into the landing pages. All the logic is set up. The email sequences, all of that is already done. But that's part of our Ultimate program. To learn more, you'd have to go to our main pricing page. And again, just call us. If you have questions, just give us a call, send us an email. I don't expect you just to see this and start, throwing out thousands of dollars. Give us a call, send us an email. Let us talk with you. Let us answer your questions. Let us show you the CRM, those type of things. But again, that's where you can learn more about it. And if you go to creditsuite.com/pricing, very bottom of that column, if you click, why is it not showing that for me? When you click right here, you go to creditsuite.com pricing and see our normal pricing, and you come right down here, your Ultimate includes your own complete marketing and automation CRM. Click here. You can click there and you can play this video and it shows you that CRM if you want to see. And I'll still extend the same webinar discount to Ultimate. You just have to get in touch with us because I didn't give it to you on the special discount page. So hopefully that works for you. Okay, let me see. Beyond getting our own business credit, we can offer this as a service to our clients. Yes, with our partner program, you can, and we give you basically everything you need to do so. So for example, here's your website. It's called universityofbusinesscredit.com. That's our sample website. So this is your own website. It's WordPress, completely customizable. So we basically, you get your own website set up. You get everything you need. You even have testimonials on your own website from us. So you can come in and get results. You can get testimonials here, actual video testimonials. So we're giving you the equivalent of entire business in a box as part of this. All the resources, everything you basically need to offer business credit and financing. So you're getting emails, flyers, and it's all professionally done as well. So this is all stuff that we spent a ton of money for to be able to produce. These initial flyers we got were hundreds of dollars in the beginning. It was like crazy what we paid to get the first templates for these using 99 designs to do it. And I'm pulling out a PDF here, but you can see they're all professionally done and completely customizable in your name. So the quality of the materials we have is top notch, and we're giving you everything you need. So for example, if you're choosing emails, you're getting emails as part of this. We're giving you a year's worth of content. So if you're a marketer, you get this. Like, we're giving you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of what would take you to produce, and probably 100,000 plus in money, and it's already done for you. So this one document, 69 pages, it's a year's worth of actual email content. So yes, you have the ability as a VIP to be a partner and offer it. And as a core, you have the ability to be able to get it for your business. I'm starting a real estate investment business. Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, real estate investment is the #2 industry we help. Trucking is up there too, because truckers need a lot of fuel cards, fleet credit, and investors are building business credit to get the cash credit they need to buy properties. They're also using credit at places like Home Depot, Labor Ready, and Lowe's to get what they need to rehab the property. We also have something called House Reseller Program, which is specifically for real estate investors. It's a fix and flip real estate investor program. We have the unsecured credit lines up to 150 grand. So we got a lot of financing that could work for that industry. Does setting up a website and 800 number come with the plan? Not necessarily. We help you with that, but you have to pay for it, because a website, you gotta buy the website, set it up, right? The phone number is like $20 a month to $30 a month. We can't just indefinitely pay like your phone charges and your website, but we will help you set those things up. I'm just a third-party seller on Amazon, starting with accumulation from home, not FBA. I did not see where some of this would help plan on getting into billions of dollars in revenue for my future. Just a better retirement than I have now. Since I can go back to jobs, I did require driving, and doctor will not let me. Well, look, first of all, making billions of dollars as an Amazon reseller is probably not likely. Let's be honest. I mean, you're talking about billions with a B. You have to be a public company typically to get to that level to begin with. So you're going to what it comes down to is this. You're right. As an Amazon seller, I don't know what you're buying and what you're not buying, but you have to decide whether or not you're going to have a real standalone legitimate business or not. An FBA or an Amazon reseller, that's I have a lot of friends that do that. I've looked into that at one time as well. This may work for you, it may not. You just got to look at what you're spending money on. What are you using money-wise to grow the business, and how are you paying for that growth? Okay, if you really want to grow a $1 billion business, well, it's only done one way: scalable marketing, scalable advertising. So what's your plan to get to that amount of money that you're trying to get to? You got to have that plan and see what you need for that plan to actually work. And then how are you going to pay for those things? Business credit could just help you pay for those things. Can I get business credit card as a startup? Yeah, you can do everything I just showed you as a startup. What would it cost for moving forward with 2 different business entities? Same price, because you shouldn't buy 2 entities, or you shouldn't buy 2 finance suites. Look, if you get the finance suite to build your business credit, then you follow the same steps for multiple businesses. Don't buy it multiple times. The samples, Marlon, all of our successful clients do exactly the same thing. Christine was with us last month on our webinar. She had 816,000 established in business credit, and even with Christine, she's now working on her second business. Once you know the formula, once you work with our team to decode it all, then just follow the same system for multiple businesses. Almost all of our most successful clients do that. What's the time frame for funding? Business credit, you get vendor credit immediately. Revolving store credit 60 days after. Cash credit 60 days after that. To get loans and credit lines, you're going to need, as I mentioned, more than just business credit. You're going to have one of the 3 C's: cash flow credit or collateral, to move into that other area of loans and credit lines. Am I going through each of the steps, or are y'all doing it for me? We can't do it for you. We help you. We'll be on the phone and help answer every question, help you through it. But here's the problem. You can't use third-party applications to be able to apply for these sources. So think about it like this. If you want us to do this for you, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just go apply for a Shell credit card and then use your credit card to buy stuff and then pay the bill? Like, I can't do that stuff. Like, getting credit comes down to finding the credit you want. You don't want somebody else to get the credit they want for you. It's using the credit. You don't want to authorize somebody to use your credit on your behalf. And then you don't want to be somebody else to be responsible for paying the bill. The last thing you want to do is give somebody a third permission to go apply for a bunch of credit on your behalf. And you have to be weary of companies that do that, because anything that you'll see on those, if you look in the actual complaints they have, it's because it takes people way too long to build business credit. So again, we'll help you through the process, but you really can't legally have anybody apply for this credit on your behalf, because if you look at their applications, they'll tell you they don't accept third-party applications being filled out by somebody else on your behalf. Would be great to get 5 minutes of your time to answer my questions directly. Absolutely, but I do not have the means right now to be able to do this. So if you could send an email directly to me, that would be great. It's info@creditsuite.com. So send it to info@creditsuite.com. And if you send an email with this exact information to info@creditsuite.com, John, I will make sure that we get with you, get your question answered. What if you have your DMB and initial vendors already set? Then let's talk. We'll customize a payment plan for you depending on how many accounts that you may already have reporting. If you're already past the first, you're set up credibly, you already have your first vendors, then it's definitely going to be, we can work something out where it's less because you've done that work, but it really comes down to how many accounts you have. Trucking is not high risk. It's one of the top, real estate and trucking are the top industries we help, because it's insane. Every gas station, all the fuel cards are all in there. So truckers just eat it up because, Jorge, it's $600 to $1,000 to fill up your tank. What are the restricted industries you listed? A lot. I showed those, and there's over 100, so too many to go through. But again, bail bonds, pornography, transportation, even outside of trucking, a lot of those are in that. And again, we keep a list updated of that, but that information changes daily too. Should you have your name established before joining Credit Suite? No, we help you through that. The good thing about it is that, look, you're one of two scenarios. You're either an established business or you're not. If you're established, you're going to fly through step one fairly quick, if everything is legit as it should be, everything's set up right. But if you're a new business, it just takes you a little bit longer, but you're at least setting your business up step by step by step by step the correct way. And you have our business advisors to help you. Why is that a big deal? My buddy Ryan down here has a beautiful office overlooking the bay, by the way. Huge office overlooking Tampa Bay, not cheap. And his whole business is he sells startup services to startups for $2,500. He sells step one for $2,500, and that's how he's become so successful over many, many years. Basically, he has a company that sets up the business and does all this, but that's part of it with us. Our advisors will help you through all that, so it makes it easy for you to get started on the right foot. Should you have your name established before? Oh, I already answered that. I got 70K of credit through your program. That's awesome, man. John, great job. Main problem is the PG business credit cards don't report unless you scrub. Oh, they do. Absolutely. The unsecured program does absolutely report, but you're given an option. So when you talk about unsecured business financing with this program, they're going to offer you two kinds of cards, what they call personal or standard cards, report to the personal reporting agencies, and business cards. The business cards only report to the business reporting agencies. So check again, maybe those reported and you didn't know, maybe you got the personal cards, but going through that process, you should know that. And John, give us a call. Let's talk through that, because any of those cash credit cards are no PG in that program. And if you've got the 14 plus trades you need in step 7 to get the cash credit, then again, you're able to get those with no PG as well. You did say you're going to send us a copy. Yes, we will send you a playback of it tomorrow because you stayed to the Q&A. You don't have to stay through it because you stayed to it. What credit score is needed to get the 150K line of credit? 680 is the answer. Corey, if I already set up my business address, set up the Secretary of State home address, do I need to correct it now? Yeah, it needs to be congruent. One of the biggest reasons business loans get denied is the address you use on the application isn't the same as Secretary of State. Super simple, Corey, to change it with Secretary of State, but you want to get that done. So you want to make sure that you address that. I really am interested in knowing more on this. Hopefully I call tomorrow. Just worried as I have dangerously dropped my credit score to 611. just from charging all business education expenses on my credit card. Well, you are the example of what I described, and don't feel bad. You do what everybody does. You use your personal credit to fund the business. You crushed your utilization. You crushed your consumer credit scores, and now the only way you could fix it is to pay off all that money, but you don't have the money to pay it off. So what we do in this case is we're going to build your business credit so you could balance transfer from these accounts to your business accounts, and then that will automatically bring up your score. My credit's so bad I'm unable to acquire a business bank account. How can I overcome this issue? Get a business bank account. Business credit should not matter. They don't pull credit checks when you're getting business bank accounts. What they will do is they will look in check systems. And if you go to YouTube and type in check systems, I don't know if our video pulls up first or not. I haven't looked, but go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/credit suite, search check systems. I think it's CHE. Oh man, only I would do a webinar on something I can't spell. I don't know. Look it up, check systems. But if you're not in check systems, it's no issue. Your credit has nothing to do with check systems. Check systems is what banks use as their credit system, and it's just looking at how you've paid your other bank accounts. So typically, if you're opening a business and a business bank account, the major banks, you're not going to have an issue. And again, if your client, we help you through that process. But the major banks should not be a problem for you unless you've had a business that defaulted on its business bank account. That could be a problem, just so you know. I need to set up a different payment plan. No problem. And Thurman, if you don't have the 597, we'll work with you on that. All you have to do is give us a call and send us an email, and we'll find out what makes sense for you, and we'll work with you on it. We want to help make this practical. We can finance it for you. We have companies that can finance it. We can get you loans. We can also just stretch the payments out longer and lower the payments. So we can definitely work with you on that. Hey, Ty, with the white label or business credit, but no, business credit cards templates aren't included. Actually, it's funny. Like, Ken, it's been many years since anybody's asked me for something that we don't have already in the back office. But we don't have business card templates because we couldn't do it. We tried to do it, but a business credit card template was pretty much just the logo and the information. There's not a lot of designed business credit cards. So it was just something that we ended up with, just a big empty card template, and it didn't make sense because there was so little design. Is it best to do the business credibility first? You have to do the business credibility first. Step one has to be business credibility. If you don't do the business credibility first, you're going to get denied and never know why. You got to set up that business credibly. You touched on adding accounts coming in November. How does this work? Well, what we did was we partnered with a reporting agency that has partnered with the reporting agencies, and basically what they're doing is they found a way using their technology to validate information that comes from utility sources, and even rent. You can use your rent, lease payments, and then what they do is they validate the data and they put the item on your credit report. So what's going to happen is you're going to have the ability to simply come in. You're going to fill out a form with the accounts you want to add. We need the username, the password, the login criteria for your online account with them. And that's it. If we know the date you started the account, your information, and the username and password to log in, we then link the system with your actual account. All of your history comes from your source directly to the reporting agency. All the data goes to Experian and CreditSafe, and within 30 days, what we're seeing on average, actually it's right at 30 days, the items report on your Experian and CreditSafe report. So that's how that works. Why would you help with startup business from step one? Name, EMIN. Would you help? Yeah, we do. That's again what step one is, and we do help with all aspects of that. Can you obtain real estate through business credit? Yeah, you absolutely can. Again, there's a lot of different ways you could do it because this is one of the biggest industries we help. You could use this credit in step 3 and 2. This is Home Depot, Lowe's, Labor Ready, all that kind of stuff. So you can obviously use that to do the fix part of the fix and flip, right? So let's look at some of those sources that make sense for that. I don't think HD Supply does. Amazon to give you that. ABC Supply is going to give you Lowe's. These are what you're going to need for fix and flips. Then you need to buy it, right? So cash credit you can get in step 7 can help you buy it. And you can also come into the Finance My Business, and we can do it a bunch of different ways here, including unsecured financing, the $150,000 unsecured credit line with you or a guarantor. You can use revenue financing if you have revenue. You can use asset-based financing if you have 401k stocks. We have house reseller program to flip real estate. So a bunch of financing options that may work for you if you have cash flow credit, or collateral. Even if you don't, we can still help you succeed using business credit. I have a sole prop tax business that I just got an LLC for. Can I leverage the experience from the sole prop for better business credit scores? Yeah, absolutely. You have a 750 credit score, so you could get unsecured financing, and you absolutely, without a doubt, can use that to the seasoning of that to build business credit. One-stop finance for a business name or for a business name. Well, the problem with that is that one-stop finance is a high risk industry. So the term finance in that name is going to create problems for you, Darlene. Starting November, cell phones, Sprint, T-Mobile will be reported correctly. So eventually it'll be still be good for, yeah, it will be. And again, um, that's in November. We're going to release a product that's going to let you add them to Experian and Credit Safe. You're going to give us the information to plug in your electronic account. And when we do so, all of your history will populate in about a month to your business credit report. So it makes sense to keep paying everybody you can. Because not only can you add utilities, cell phone, electric, power, satellite TV, mobile phone, you can add rent, you can add lease, you can add third party as a client as well. So third party means Credit Suite, it means software, it means anything outside of what I told you, those can be validated and added as well to your business credit reports. Can you help me build credit to purchase an existing business? Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, you might not need to do that. We can talk through that with you. Building an existing business is typically done by using the existing business's assets to qualify. And we have SBA loans that can help you just with this, with the acquiring of a business. And if you want access to our financing, guys, I'm not saying you have to buy. Like, call us, email us. If you think you can qualify for financing now or want financing, we can help you with that. Give us a call, send us an email. We'll talk to you separately about that. What's the best way to get credit for a business that purchases art? Exactly the same way I just told you. The process is the same, no matter if that is what you're doing or not. It's just a matter of what you're trying to use money for to grow the business. The unsecured financing option is the 10% paid up front upon receipt. Yeah, for the unsecured business financing, and keep in mind, guys, we never charge you any money on fees on any kind of loan product at all. The lenders pay us a kickback or a referral fee sometimes they don't. So with unsecured business financing, with this where you can get up to 150,000 in credit lines, the lender's typically going to charge a 9.9% fee, and they roll it right into the cards, just like an SBA loan. An SBA loan, you'll pay 5 to 7 percentage points into your loan. They just roll it into your loan. It's the same with this. You only pay on what you get, and it's rolled into the loan, rolled into the credit line, just like an SBA loan would be. What is CRN or CRM? A CRM is it's a customer management tool. A CRM is where you house customer data. So it's where you'll basically put your customer's name and address and phone number. It's where you send emails from. It's where you control your billing from. A CRM does a lot of different things. If you Google it, you'll find a lot of options, including Infusionsoft, who we use. Is there any specials for veterans with little money? Yeah, give us a call. I mean, I'm a veteran. This is a veteran-owned business. So we do a lot for veterans. Give us a call, send us an email. Let us see what we can get put together to help you out. What is the monthly cost to get started? Again, we have a couple different options here. You can go to creditsuite.com/webinar. And when you go to creditsuite.com/webinar, if you want to build business credit for your business, you're looking at core, and VIP is when you're actually become a partner. So it's $497 to build it. It's $597 to be a partner. And if those don't work for you, you just have to let us know so we can work with you. And this is all white labeled. Yes, this is. We have a couple options for you. Actually, white label means you put your logo. Our team introduces themselves as neutral. We do not say that we are a separate company, or you can even have us close your sales for you and get paid that way. And if we're closing the sales for you, we're using our reputation, which is pretty powerful, as the asset to help you get the deals closed. So you have two options. You could go with the white label and do it in your name. You can have us do the closing and do it non-white label. You have that choice, but this whole system is set up as white label. I can even come in, I think, to my account. I don't need to do this. So I don't do it very often. And I can put my logo right here. So I can choose and upload my logo to make the whole system mine. Our system, our advising team, our emails, the login screen, everything is neutral for white label, but we found a lot of people want us to close to use our reputation to help them. So it's like half want one way, half want the other. We've got both available. And thank you, Mayan, for answering or for asking. I have business credit cards, but got it with my SSN. Yeah, do these count? No, they don't typically. You know, the problem with this is it depends on where they report. It could count. It depends on when they report. Chase Inc. doesn't help me. Some report to consumer, some report to business. So I personally, uh, okay, now we're into semantics. So here's the real semantics. Corporate credit is how you really get credit without a personal guarantee. It's called corporate credit. I've adopted the term business credit because people relate to it. They understand. And I call it real business credit when you can get it without the guarantee and the credit check. But that's actually really what business credit is. You get it with the guarantee, with the credit check. Corporate credit is really what they more refer to when you get it without the PG and credit check. Just confuse things a lot more. But the answer to question one, John, I just called you Juan, sorry about that, is that did you provide a personal guarantee? You probably did. That's not a real business account, but you might still want to keep it if it reports to the business reporting agencies. Why not? What if you have foreign entities in other states which address we use on the application? Pick one and use the same address on your Secretary of State, your EIN, on everything. You need to have one corporate address, because the more addresses you have, the more you confuse the reporting agencies. What's going to happen? They're going to create a different DUNS number, a different report for every address you have. You can't have that. So you need to make sure that everything online is listed as the same information on all your documents and online. How does having a virtual office with many other businesses, same address, affect me? It's good. It doesn't disqualify you. Dun & Bradstreet even talks about virtual addresses and the importance of them. What will disqualify you are PO boxes and UPS addresses. Every time somebody said, I can't get my DUNS number or something because of a virtual address, they show the address. It wasn't virtual. It was really a PO box, UPS. You just got to be careful of that. I've been having problems with the reports to D&B. The vendors has reported, but only 2 is generated. I've talked to the vendors and they are saying they've reported. Amir, the reason that you're having this problem is because you don't have 3 accounts. Dun & Bradstreet will not populate a credit report and score for you unless you have 3 accounts. You have 2, so they are reporting. D&B is just not populated a report until you have your 3rd. And again, not to, to push you one way or the other, but guys, this is why working with us helps. I didn't show you a slide today where I have 100 questions. We get hundreds of questions about the process because people get stuck. They don't know what to do, right? And we're busy servicing our clients. So these are the kind of things that you can get stuck in that hold you back. It's why it takes people so long to build business credit, because how long have you already spent trying to fix this, not knowing why, when we could have told you that in seconds in the process. Chexsystems.com. Yeah, thank you. CHEX systems, SYESTEMS.com. Thank you, Gloria. I couldn't remember. I thought checks was CHEX. I wasn't sure. I'm looking to starting a transportation like Uber. Good luck. No, I'm just kidding. But also a mobile notary, loaning, and financial services. Congratulations. I think those are great ideas. And any of them that you describe, you're going to need funding. So hopefully we've talked about some ways to help make it easier for you. Can you obtain real estate using that? We talked about that. Did I hear you tell someone that you could work with us with a better payment plan? Yeah, absolutely. If you can't afford what we have listed at creditsuite.com/webinar, give us a call. Send us an email. Guys, look, we have programs that are more affordable that we don't even advertise on our website, that you won't even see them. We've got programs in beta tests that we're testing. We have different options that we have to pick our main options. And then we have to say, look, if the main option doesn't work, then work with us. If you communicate with us and tell us what's going on, then we can help work with you to customize something. All you have to do is give us a call, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. What are some of the trade line companies that build my credit? I don't know, nor would you ever want to do that. Okay, look, first of all, trade lines, just so you understand how it works. If you buy a fake address, you buy a fake credit profile, a shelf corporation, not a fake credit profile, a fake company, Shelf Corp, or you buy fake trades, what happens is when they report, the reporting agencies know these companies and they automatically red flag your report and all heck breaks loose. Best case scenario, they put an alert on your credit report notifying every lender, credit issuer, anybody that looks at your report that you're dealing with fake companies that sell trades and companies. That's best case. Worst case scenario, it's over. They just shut it down. They shut down your credit profile. Your credit profile goes away. Your scores are gone. You have nothing, and you want a new business credit profile. You start a new company, and that happens 9 out of 10 cases that we deal with. They see that you bought trades, and they shut you down, and they red flag, shut down your credit report, and your credit report is no mo, and you're starting all over from scratch. So I wouldn't even think about doing that unless you want a one-way ticket to a dead credit profile. What's good starter credit for a transportation business? I think any of the ones that we talked about today, because I think they all sell stuff that you could use in the trucking business. And as a client, we have gas cards that work as starter vendors as well, just so you know. What company finances website design? The company that offers it, typically. I mean, there's a lot of these companies out there, and we have like one maybe two. The second one's on the verge of reporting, and one is reporting. There are companies that do SEO. There are companies that do website design. There are companies that do all those type of things. But again, most of them will finance that for you. You just have to talk to the company actually selling the sites, or get business credit and use the business credit to pay for it. Tell me more about Fundbox. Fundbox is a lender, and we have a great relationship with them. We're their biggest supplier of loans, you might say. I think that's fair to say. I think if you search Fundbox, Fundbox, you would see us first on YouTube before even their own stuff. They're just a lender, but they're a lender that deals with artificial intelligence. So they're getting away from documentation, where they can get your information electronically, where they don't need the documentation. So it saves you time, and they are using artificial intelligence to determine approvals. So the approvals are much faster than what you're used to. So Fundbox is one of over 1,000 lenders that we work with that has some really cool programs, and one of the only lenders that will give you a $100,000 credit line without a credit check as well. With the unsecured financing, does all personal credit bureaus have to be 685? They all should be 685 or higher, but we might be able to get you more limited money if it's only with two instead of three. We could talk to you about that. Just give us a call. But when you register for an entity, you have to put original address. I understand that, but you need to have one address or multiple entities. So you either have one main corporate address that everything is linking back to, that you're using online for everything that business is doing. You can have different locations. Your business credit reports will have a family tree on them. So it will have, here's the corporate address, here's the smaller other addresses. But first of all, let me be completely clear. You need to be working with the credit reporting agencies on this. Otherwise, they're going to create a bunch of credit profiles for you because of your different addresses. Credit reports are based on your business name and address. So if you have a business name with a bunch of different addresses, they're going to create a bunch of credit profiles. So you need to communicate with them to make sure, and our team can help you with this, to make sure that they're all under one corporate umbrella. Then whenever the company itself is applying for things, you want to do it all under the same information. So hopefully that makes sense for you. Can you track multiple companies then in your program? You can't. You can only track one. But again, you can follow the same steps, get credit monitoring, which will help you outside of our system, and do exactly the same thing. What about if I change my address and the two vendors already reported under old address? If I order something with the third vendor with the new address, will it still generate a score? It will, and you should go to the first two vendors and tell them you've changed your address as well. What are some of the startup vendors that help me build my credit? The whole webinar was on that. So I revert back to everything we talked about today. We talked about Strategic Network Solutions. We talked about Granger. We talked about Gimplers. We talked about Uline, Quill, Wells Fargo, and we looked at a bunch of others. Since you stayed to the Q&A, we will send you a replay tomorrow. And we talked through 7. We looked at a bunch more in our suite that I think can help you as well. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up here. I've answered a ton of your questions. Mike, I got to get rid of Apple. I don't even use iTunes on my computer, and I get more updates from them than anything else. So guys, look, my goal is that you can come in and you can leave this webinar with a lot more information than what you've had before. That's my goal. My goal is that you came in and go, okay, I know a bunch of stuff about this process that I didn't know before. And one of two worlds you then fit into. One, you want to go down the road of doing this on your own. I respect that. I've given you enough information to put you on the right track. Okay, but just like anything you don't know how to do, it's going to take you longer because you're going to have to learn the process. It's just the way that it is, right? And this is something pretty significant, pretty severe. This is your credit profile for the business. So doing it without the experience and knowledge is going to be a bumpy road. It's a rocky road. You have a ton of questions along the way. You're going to run into barriers that you're not going to know how to overcome. And then in those scenarios, you're pretty much going to be relying on forums where other people don't know what's going on to be given advice. This is why, on average, of all the testing we've looked at, it's going to take you 2 years to get to where you could be in 6 months. But it saves you the money. You don't have to pay his payments. You don't have to pay one payment to us. You could do this. But keep in mind, you're going to have these other expenses. You're going to have to get 411. That's either going to take months to wait for, or you're going to pay the fee that we pay. Okay. You're going to have to get with the reporting agencies. You're going to have to pay for credit monitoring. You're not going to have the ability to add stuff to your reports and do all this other stuff that you'd have the ability to. It's going to cost you more money doing it on your own than you'd ever do it with us anyways. Not to mention that our advisors can help you through the process. So when you have questions, they can help you overcome, which gets you to a 6-month time frame versus a 2-year time frame. Not to mention that you never need to worry about financing again. If you ever go to get a loan and a credit line, where are you going to go? Who are you going to go for? Which ones do loans based on credit, collateral, cash flow? Which lender is the best lender in this week for revenue lending? Who was the best last week? Because it's like the Brinks truck rolls up and all of a sudden 1 week, one lender's lending like it's going out of style, and then the next week they're not lending anything. So which are the hot lenders? To have a finance team that helps you with this, to have a business advising team that keeps up with all the information that's changing in the industry, the sources that come and go, who they report to, the cash credit that's there one day and gone the next, helps you get most money, gets you more money, helps you get more money, helps you get it at better terms, and helps you radically expedite this process to getting money so you can get the money you need to grow the business. I'd love to work with you. But even if I don't work with you, at least you got a lot of good information out of here that I think can help you to be successful. So I'm going to open up a few other questions. Give us a call, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. Let us answer any questions you have. Let us talk to you about a customized payment plan or whatever we can do to make this make sense for you. Maybe we can make it make sense. Maybe we can't. But it's a quick phone call. Our team are awesome. And a lot of these guys, all of them, I think, have owned businesses. So we work with the people you're talking to have owned businesses. They've been where you're going or where you are, and they will work with you hand in hand as you go through this process as well. So our team is very committed to helping you succeed. If you're committed to succeeding, then I think it's a good fit. But either way, I'm hoping that you got a lot of great information out of today. I'm going to go ahead, answer a few more questions, and we'll wrap up. If you have more, no worries. I'm going to make sure that we follow up, that we answer them through email, that we call you, that we somehow get in touch with you to make sure that your questions are answered. And of course, you can contact us as well. Steven says, send me a replay. We will, since you watched to the end. Goals accomplished. Send me a replay. It's awesome. Okay, let me go up here. When to call? Give us a call. I don't know if our team is here right now. We might have some team waiting. They usually wait because I'm on a webinar, but they'll be there first thing at least 8:39 in the morning. Give us a call as well. If you give us a call and leave us a voicemail, then we'll call you back first thing in the morning or send us an email. My address on EIN or with state registry is different from web and things. Then you need to get them all changed. It's as simple as that. Congruency is very important. You're awesome. Thanks for your time and info. Your passion for business credit is well received. Cheryl, thank you very much. Guys, you have to understand, I lived this the wrong way. I lost it all. I mean, I know what it's like to lose the respect of your spouse because your job is to provide and you don't do that. I know what it's like to have your spouse break down because you've lost it all, and that feeling of failure because you didn't, things that were out of your control took down your business, and the way that you funded your business took down you personally. And I will never let anybody else that ever hears me talk make that decision without knowingly making it. You have a choice whether you work with us or do it on your own. Build your business credit. It's what's going to help you get the money you need to fund the business. It's what makes the business fund itself. It's what removes your liability and keeps your personal finances safe from your business. These things are so important. Take it from somebody who's been on the other side of success and been on the other side of failure. It's not a place you want to be, and I'm trying to arm you with what you need to do to protect yourself. So hopefully that message did come through. I heard you on what Bill Master show. Oh, cool. Yeah, I love Bill. I love being on that. I'm on to a lot of shows, podcasts. It's really cool. I'm having a great time. This has been awesome. Thank you. Great, Corey. I'm glad you got it, a lot out of it. And we will send anybody who works smarter, not harder. That's exactly right. And I love that. That's exactly a big belief of ours as well. And everybody, since you attended before even the Q&A, will send you a replay. But this is going to take a while tonight to do whatever GoToWebinar does with it because it's so long. And then we'll have it to you tomorrow. Have to leave. Want to receive the recording. We'll get you the recordings tomorrow. And I'm going to wrap this up. So give us a call, 877-600-2487, info@creditsuite.com. We'll talk to you about making this work for you if it makes sense, or if you have a one-off question you haven't had a chance to answer, give us a call. Send us an email. Let us get it answered. Our team will be in the morning to return all calls and emails. You might even catch them tonight. So I look forward to working with all of you. We're giving you a really cool discount here. We don't usually give discounts, guys. Why? Because we're the only ones that have anything like what we have. So we don't typically give discounts, and we typically don't offer bonuses. But in this case, you're getting some really cool bonuses, you're getting a discount, and you're getting a cool opportunity to get your business credit built for a fraction of what you'd spend on your own, as well as everything you need to get financing. I'd love to work with you. Even if I don't get a chance, I hope you got a lot of great information out of this. And I hope I get a chance to talk to you again in the future. So I'm going to wrap this up. If you have any other questions, give us a ring, 877-600-2487, 877-600-2487. I look forward to helping all of you build your business credit, and look forward to working with you and seeing you on the other side, to seeing you get the money and what you do with it for your business. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.